That's it.
I think we're live, aren't we?
I think so.
We're live.
What have you done? You pressed the live button.
Yes. So welcome to our live stream today, where we're going to be discussing how we are raising our vegan children and the language in which we use.
It's quite an interesting subject because everybody's different.
Yeah. So it's going to be an open mic night. So if anyone else wants to jump on and discuss how they might be using different language and words surrounding veganism and raising their children, feel free to come on.
It'll help us out as well.
No two vegans are alike when it comes to raising children. I'm sure that is, but we sort of stem on the same path. But everyone has different techniques and different methods of dealing with things and situations, and that's what this stream's all really about. Is about how we are doing it as a community. So,
but also to support and educate others.
Yeah, I want to say if anyone else watches this stream past it's live, hopefully it will educate them as well and give them something definitely to think about.
So let's see who's here. It's been a while since we've done one of these together, hasn't it?
It is, yeah. I don't know whether we are. What's the?
Can everybody hear us? Actually,
what's the volume like? Is it too low? Is it too high?
We might be screaming at them.
We might be, but yeah, this is completely unscripted, like live. We've not done any sort of pre. We've rated a few words down here, but that's about it. But we're hoping that other people might come on and discuss things with us. We are. I'm gonna drop the join stream thing in the comment section, and we're gonna quickly see who's here. So we've got I'm Easy Vegan. Hey.
Hello, another vegan parent in the house. That's what we like.
And he appears to be in a food coma.
That's
always a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel stuffed from dinner to be fair.
We've got Toby Gosling. Hello, Toby.
Hey, Toby.
I would have my shirt on today, but I've got my Defenders one on.
Cup, though.
Oh yeah. I've got my cup with me coffee in.
And my sister, I've recommended your brand and Defender of Animals.
Yeah.
To my sister. So.
Both of my shirts are in the wash.
Yes,
I've been wearing them a lot recently.
They're great shirts.
They are. They're good. They're really good shirts. Thank you very much.
And Michael, hello. How are you?
Michael, did you see our live? I'm hoping you saw our live with our giveaway.
Yes, we did £180 in the end over the last few months, isn't it? Really,
because you were a very good donator, so I wanted you to see where your money was.
And
going.
we're actually going to the farm sanctuary tomorrow. To that farm sanctuary.
So hopefully we're going to see. And we're going to do a video for you guys as well,
yes.
So you're going to see exactly what you've bought. And
I'm going to be an emotional wreck. I can't wait.
I want to see the horse with the jacket on.
I just want to see the cows. I'm there for the cows.
Maze balls. So yeah, hello, Michael.
I see Ruth. Oh my goodness.
Leon. We got Leon.
My goodness. And my sister's there.
Hello, Leon. Hello. Yeah, we saw you in the previous stream.
Yes.
It was nice to hear you finally. Yeah, I was there as Almighty Jelly, and you were there as UK Vegan Family.
Well, I was I was and I wasn't. I popped in and then I was chatting to my friend and busy lady.
And we've got the fantastic, amazing Ruth Jenkins.
Ruth, we don't know what we do without mamas like you in the vegan community. So those of you who do not know Ruth, she has put together these amazing packs for vegan kids so that she'll send them out to schools across the UK. You put your child onto the map. So it is vegan inclusive education. And you can Google that, it'll come up. And you can put your child's school on the map and she'll send it out. And she has a survey as well, a survey monkey. And that is looking at, correct me if I'm wrong, Ruth, but that is looking at I'm trying to think of the words now, the actual feedback from the schools on what vegan kids are finding it's like. So, we have somebody backstage. Amazing.
We have someone backstage.
And we have my middle sister is here with us tonight, Holly. That is my little baby sis down there. Hello. Hope you're okay.
Yeah.
So, do we have anybody else?
No. Shall we?
Yes.
We'll bring it. We're going to bring him in. Toby, are you ready? He's ready. Right.
Hello.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm good.
It's nice to see you in the person.
The flesh.
Yes, the flesh. How are you doing anyway?
Yeah, okay, apart from my toe. Other than that.
Oh, no, you don't know what you've done, do you?
No, I just woke up with a bad toe, so
Oh.
might be infected.
It could be.
Oh dear.
It could be. If it doesn't clear up, take it to the doctors. That's what I always say.
Yeah, called 111, so they just said elevate it and put some ice on it. So.
Oh, bless you. Well, I hope that feels better soon. I do. Yeah. So you've got a little one, haven't you?
Yeah, he's 5 years old.
Wow. So is your little one in school?
Yeah, so he's in year 1.
Okay.
Year 1, something like that.
So first year of school. So how have you found that? The whole school. Obviously, it's been difficult this year, hasn't it? Really, with COVID. But
yeah.
How have you found it, and how has he found it?
Yeah, he's been kind of fine, really. He obviously likes being off school more than being at
kid
school.
Doesn't.
No, that's it.
So yeah, he's been fine. At the initial kind of when we went vegan, it was like, oh, we just send him with packed lunches until we had to let them know that he was vegan, and then we got a vegan menu, so that was good.
That's good.
But they had fish on the vegetarian menu.
That's interesting because
it's a bit weird.
Yeah, I've always found this, being raised vegetarian, that a lot of people seem to think vegetarians eat fish. Well, they don't.
No.
I've never understood that. Still don't.
So I think one day he had fish, but it was like right at the start of us going vegan. So.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Do you think he's been well supported at school?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I think he's the only vegan in his class, but there's a few other vegans in the school.
Okay, that's good. Yeah. He's not necessarily on his own. So have you had any interesting conversations with your little one about veganism? Because for us, Jack is 3.5. We've had lots of interesting conversations, definitely within the last year, about why he's vegan. And he very much understands that he doesn't eat animals, and he knows that he doesn't have cow's milk or eggs. He understands all of that. And we're having to have discussions around why we don't eat animals, and it's always a hard subject. And he now asks if everybody else is vegan, which is another difficult conversation.
He finds it hard to understand why
other people aren't vegan, which is why I thought it'd be good to do something like this, to get us all together to share the load and share the experiences, and hope that we can come up with something that helps everyone else as well.
Yeah, so it's the same thing, really. He's like, why aren't you vegan and stuff like that? And we was at my sister's in-laws, and probably about 3 or 4 months ago, and he had chicken, and he was like, are you eating chicken? And he was like, yeah. And he just looked at him like what are you doing?
Oh, bless him.
But I think he kind of planted a seed in us to go vegan, because before we went vegan, we bought him a pet fish, like a goldfish. And then we sat down one night and had some like fish and chips, battered fish and chips. And he every night he basically says, what are we eating for dinner?
Oh.
So he was like, yeah, fish and chips tonight. And he was like, started crying at the dinner table, like, why are we eating my fish? We were like, no, it's not your fish, it's the ones in the sea.
Oh, bless him.
And about sort of probably a week after that, we went vegan, because I watched different things, but I think he planted a seed in me to then go and like I watched Game Changers, and then I watched A Land of Hope and Glory, and it kind of I think that sort of pushed us to go vegan.
That's incredible. You hear about a lot of these lovely little stories. There's Family 4, Lucy and Rich. I think it was their young son basically said, I want to go vegan. And I think he's only about 6. Lucy will correct me if I'm wrong, but that started off their journey and it was through their little one. So it's always lovely to hear about these stories where the whole family goes vegan. So that's really good. So how have you dealt with explaining what happens to these animals? I mean, have you said to a 5-year-old? What is enough? What do we say?
Yeah, so probably the most that we said is that obviously animals have to die for us to eat that kind of meal. So if he says, "Oh, can we have a burger or something like that?" we say a cow has to die for you to eat that burger, and then he's like, no, we don't want animals to die. So that's the only kind of thing that we've said to him at the moment. But yeah, he's fine. He's absolutely fine with that.
Do you think that he understands at 5 what to die means?
I think so, because he's had goldfish, and they didn't last very long, to be honest.
No.
So he cried when his goldfish died. So
bless him.
Yeah, he's had. I think that's the only kind of pets that we've had that have died in the house, kind of thing. So but yeah, I think he has grasped the kind of concept, but I don't think he knows kind of the whole thing.
Because we had a conversation, I think it was last year, and it was, Mommy, what is ham? I was like, oh no, because we don't eat things that look like that in this house. And if you do, it's usually you. Jack certainly wouldn't have that.
They do like corn.
Yeah, you have that, don't you?
Slices.
It was me who had to have this conversation, and I think the hardest part about being vegan parents is these conversations, and it's about being frank and just going, you know what? That's from a dead pig, because that's what it is. I didn't actually know how else to explain it. I didn't know what to say, so we just said that, and that was it. And then we had a conversation about, well, what's death? And he was fine with that. He knows that. He just grasps it. He just grasps that ham is from a dead pig, and that's kind of it. But it's really difficult conversations, and some people might say, do you know what? That's not the right thing to say, but that's why we're doing this, because what is the right thing to say? None of us really know, do we? We're just having to have these conversations that nobody really wants to have.
That's true. Yeah, I just think you got to be open and honest with your kids. You don't have to necessarily go all gory about it, especially to like really young kids.
Yeah, we certainly haven't said what happens. I think that is just too much for these young kids.
As they get older, they might ask more questions, so then you can probably go into a bit more detail. I think maybe when they're asking the question, if they say, "Oh, what happens to the animals at the farm," sort of thing, they might. They're a bit more inquisitive than when they get a bit more older, so they might understand a bit better.
And hopefully there'll be someone here tonight who might be able to answer that question for us. But we've got a couple more people in the back, so we will invite them in, and then we can discuss it all a little bit more. Oh, I think there's an echo somewhere.
That might be me. I don't
know.
Hello,
Leon. No, there's still an echo. Hello, I'm Miss Vegan.
Hey, how you doing? You right?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, all good. I was just gonna have a few words to say. Yeah, I've got kids. I've got vegan kids and that. I like the topic. It's a really important topic. Is that my mic, by the way?
I think it's Leon. I don't know whether to mute Leon just because of for some reason there's an echo.
It might be StreamYard, to be honest.
I don't want to hear my voice twice.
So
It's a lovely voice.
Oh, thank you.
Right, Leon, I'm just going to mute you a second while I'm Easy Vegan just tells us his thing.
Go on.
So yeah, I've got is that stopped?
Yeah. Right.
I can still hear it.
He's unmuted. He's unmuted somewhere. There we go. Oh.
Hello?
That's it. Yeah, I can hear you.
That's better. Yeah, so I've got 1 year old, like 1.5, and then a 4-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah, both vegan. Son's been vegan since birth. Daughter's been vegan since like about 1.5 years. Yeah, obviously, like, he doesn't know too much. He's like kind of only just started talking. But yeah, my daughter, she's quite smart. Yeah, very often she goes nursery and that. She's always like, you know, I'm vegan. That
Like
shout.
Jack.
Yeah, and the nursery's been amazing. Some of the things that nursery have come back with us, when we pick her up and that, some of the stuff they say, and like, I think there was a it was a good few weeks back now. Yeah, picked her up and she said, what was I think she was getting? I can't remember what it was now. Might have been some snacks or something, and they said, "Oh yeah, don't worry, yeah, she had her vegan snack." She told everyone why she's vegan and all the other kids, and apparently the teachers then started kind of just explaining what veganism was to all the children and that, which I thought was brilliant. Yeah, I mean, when it was like kind of Easter, obviously all the kids had, I think they all got given like a little chocolate egg and that, and they actually went out of their own way and got her some. I think I don't know what it was. They couldn't find some little eggs, but they got some dark chocolate and just like broke it up and put it in like a little egg for her. Do you know what I mean? So it was really good. So that's been really amazing. I'm not really looking forward to school and that.
No, same.
But I mean, actually, I say that. I think a while back I wouldn't, but now I think things are changing. So I think the nursery that she's at now has given me a lot of confidence to think that it probably would be all right. Veganism is definitely on the rise. So I think there will be more vegan children. Just like Toby said, I was quite surprised that he said there was quite a few vegan children at that school, which is amazing. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, talking about vegan language, for your children. Yeah, I mean, I don't obviously. I'm mainly talking about my 4-year-old daughter now. I mean, my son obviously doesn't fully understand yet, but
No, I don't.
with my
think
daughter, I mean, she understands like kind of the basics, like eggs come from chicken bums.
Yeah.
Like she openly shouts that in the supermarkets. I encourage it. So every time we walk past all the dairy milk, I always say to her, "We're like, what's that?" And she would like scream like, "It's cow's breast milk." And I'm like, I'm like, what's in that woman's trolley? And she's like, cow's breast milk. And so I always do that. I think that's good because that's what it is. Do you know what I mean? There's no brainwashing there. There's no lying. That's literally what it is. So
yeah.
I mean, a while back when we first went vegan, there was always me and my wife always kind of we'd always be talking about like, oh yeah, what if she all of a sudden she picks up some chocolate and she's like she insists that she wants some even though you tell her it's got animal stuff in or whatever. But she surprised me all the time. Like there was like right now. I mean, I have full confidence in my daughter now. But a while back, I was a bit worried and stuff. And I remember I actually kind of tested her a little bit. I picked up like a dairy milk, and I said to her, and this might be a bit weird, but I said to her, "Oh, do you want this?" And she went, "Yeah." And I went, "It's got animals in it." She went, "Oh no, then." Straight away, I was like, "Well done." I was like, "That's amazing."
This happened to us
very
the other
recently.
day,
Yeah,
actually, he
it
came
was yesterday,
home.
wasn't it? No, Thursday. Was it Thursday? It was Thursday.
Thursday. He came home with a party bag.
Yeah, it was someone's birthday at nursery.
But it was a sealed party bag. Normally, it's open because the nursery have gone through it to make sure there's nothing in it. And there was something that looked in like a pog. So I was like, "Oh, what's this?" Opened it. And I was like, "Oh, it's a unicorn pog. Now, it looks like a chocolate coin." I thought, "Oh, we need a conversation here." So I said to Jack, "Do you know what this is?" And he said, "No." I said, "This is a cow's milk chocolate." And he was like, "Oh, can you open it so I can have a look?" And I said, "Well, yeah, we can do that." He said, "I don't want it." He doesn't want it because it's from a cow. So I said, "Should we take it back to nursery? Because I haven't got the heart to throw it in the bin because of what's gone on for that chocolate." So I took it back to nursery, and he was the one, he said, "I'm not having that because it's from a cow's breast."
It's amazing. Yeah, I
They were
love
like,
it.
oh no, we don't want that then.
No. But luckily we had some
Yeah, we had some
half-
chocolate here.
half moonies
Yeah,
on
half
hand.
moon is
On hand from Mount Mazuma or whatever it is.
So we had that, but it's like,
Yeah,
nah, I don't want that.
So yeah, we
Yeah.
swapped it out.
So I totally get that.
We didn't
Aaron.
go without.
But
I
he
mean,
had
there
the
was another-
choice.
Oh,
He
Leon,
made the choice.
I tried.
Yeah. I mean, there was another time. This is quite a while back, and kind of going back to like, when me and my wife are still a bit worried at sometimes. What if she gets given something and that she insists that she wants it? There was a time when nurseries, when we kind of first started at this nursery, so they were still learning as well, and she come home with like I can't remember exactly what it was now. It was a bag of sweets basically. They'd obviously given out all the kids to take home a bag of something. I think it was like a little bag of Haribo or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
And we opened the bag, and straight away we were a bit annoyed. And I think my wife emailed the nursery just to kind of remind them. And she wasn't like it was like the first few days, so it was like it was a mistake. And my daughter had seen the sweets, and straight away my wife was like, "Oh no, like she's seen them now. She's seen them. She's gonna want them." And I was like, and I said, but no, she's not having them. I'm not going to allow them allowed to have them. And my wife is a bit worried. And there's no. I mean, and fair play to her. It's understandable that she was a bit worried. And she's going to kick off now. She wants the sweets. Yeah. She's only 3 years old. And I said, well, I'll tell you what. Let's just ask her. I said to her, do you want these sweets? She was like, yeah. And I went, well, they've got animals in. They've got animal bits in. She went, oh no. And I went, well, what do you want to do with them? And she went, put them in the bin. And she put them in the bin. That way.
Yeah. She's
great. I mean, and it's amazing. And children, they're so, you've got all the amount of innocence they have and knowledge they have that they don't want to do this. They haven't built all the disconnect that we, myself. I wasn't born vegan. I didn't turn vegan until I was like my very late 20s. The disconnect was already built there, So I didn't. I ate animals, whereas children haven't, especially like my children, your children, they haven't kind of built that disconnect yet.
Yeah.
So it's completely very abnormal to be eating animals. It's very strange. It's not until we learn that it's normal, or apparently normal to do it, then it seems weird that to stop doing it.
Have you taught your children, so this is you, Toby, and Aaron, to ask if something is vegan? Because that's what we do. We get him to say, is this vegan? So it sort of starts a conversation. So if he's at nursery or wherever, whoever gives him something, it's, what is this vegan?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I always tell her. I said to her, if anyone ever gives you anything, family members, if someone comes down, or friends, or anyone from nursery, I said, always ask. And she's like, yep. And I trust her. Like not like a distrust her, but I trust the fact that she's a 4-year-old, and I trust the fact that she will actually ask.
Because they're more truthful than adults.
She asks us sometimes. She's like, "Is this vegan?" And I'm like, "Of course it's bloody vegan." Like,
Jack does that.
I say to her, "Well done for asking. I'm glad you asked."
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah, it's amazing.
One of the questions or one of the comments, Adam, was from Katie.
Right.
And it's an interesting thing that I want to ask both of you.
Is it this one here?
Let's have a discussion and see how we can do this one.
This one here?
No, not that one. Go up. It's about explaining that people who do eat animals, they're not evil, nasty people. It's...
Okay, I don't know where it is.
I think you've gone past it.
Yeah, probably.
So I think Katie had said that her daughter, I think she's at school, she was having conversations around,
Oh yeah,
people. Oh, there we go. You
Here we
found
go.
it. So Ellie told a close family member the other day that they were really unhealthy and not a good person because they weren't vegan. I do like it. It's hard to strike a balance between teaching our kids to be compassionate. The thing is, kids are truthful. They're honest. They look at it through honest eyes. So it is hard. How do we have that conversation? I've sort of said to Jack that, so and so, yes, they do eat animals because they haven't made the connection that we have.
They don't fully understand.
They don't understand. They probably don't care about animals like we do.
The way I've said it to Jack in the past is that they don't see those animals as being property. They see them as something.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
I think 100% agree with what you said. I think we've had the conversation before in the past. I'm not 100% sure of what I said to him, but it's on sort of along the same lines as they don't see animals in the same way. They're sort of brought up to eat animals, and it's kind of it's a normal thing to do in their eyes. But yeah, it's a hard one to, especially for like 4 and 5 year olds, to get a head around.
Yeah.
Why some people eat animals and other people don't. It's really hard.
When you've seen Dominion, you see that whole industry as animal abuse. And I don't want to say to Jack, well, actually, people who eat animals are animal abusers, because
Yeah.
Because that's what we're all thinking.
That's
isn't
what
it?
we're thinking.
Yeah.
But it's how do you get that?
It's
But I
once
don't
you-
want
it's
him
that-
saying that,
A younger
because
one.
I don't want him to have that kind of attention and have to deal with that kind of burden from other kids. So it's really hard, because our thoughts on it are different to what his are.
Yeah, it was when we spoke to
Nursery.
no. What's her name? Marissa.
I think it
Marissa.
was Tina Newman, Vivi the Super Vegan, who said about not having a burden, not
Yeah,
giving
it's
them a
it's
burden.
like explaining it to them in such a way that they're not burdened by that knowledge,
And they still get to be a kid.
but they still get to be a kid and kind of look at it a bit naively still.
Mm.
It's a tough one, isn't it? And especially with choice of words.
Once you know better, then you can actually do better, can't you? So people don't know necessarily that these animals are being abused in that way.
Yeah.
Because when I wasn't vegan, you don't think about it. So you just go ahead your life, and then once you've seen it, then you can do better. If you see it and don't do anything, then that's like, what? Why are you doing that? That's even harder to get my head around, when adults say, "Oh yeah, I've seen it. I've seen Dominion."
You've got a slogan for that, haven't you?
What's that?
We were speaking to that man outside Tulip the other day, last week.
Oh yeah.
He said, "Is it observation without no
compliance or something?"
Yeah,
silence. Hang on, I can't even remember my own statement. Let me think about it. Aaron, what do you think?
Sorry, say that last question again.
Sorry.
What do you think about explaining to our children that, carnies, they're not necessarily horrible, nasty people. They just haven't made the connection that we have, and they don't necessarily know what we know. It's our job to tell them, but how do you deal with that with your little ones?
I guess I haven't actually been kind of through that properly yet, because mainly because where we live now, I mean, we haven't seen like family members for a long time. They live like probably like 400 miles away. So we haven't really kind of dealt with, we don't have many people we really talk to here. But no, I know what you mean. That's a good question. There have been times when there have been. Sorry, go on.
I was going to say, for an example, Jack will ask, "Well, is this relative vegan?" And if I say, "Well, no,"
oh yeah,
he'll go, "Well, why not?" And then it's like, "But it's not nice to eat animals. It's sad. It makes me sad." So it's trying to explain that's tricky.
Yeah, I mean, we've so we have like, say, like when my wife, she might be FaceTiming her mum or something, and or whatever, and sometimes we do afterwards or whatever, and when we're talking about other people, we'd say, "Oh yeah, they're not vegan, are they?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, no, yeah, blah, blah, yeah, they eat animals." I just say that. Yeah, I said, yeah, then. And sometimes, I mean, I don't know if I've said in the past, like if I've said like, "Yeah, they're nasty, they eat animals," and I might just say that. And we kind of have, I mean, it's kind of all tongue in cheek, isn't it? You have to remember, still talking to children. But I think, like what you said a minute ago, well, who was it who said it? But I thought it was really good.
Tina Newman.
I think that's a really good way of looking at it, actually. Yeah, they have that innocence to where they don't have to kind of deal with that, really, if that makes sense. I think we hopefully, fingers crossed that as they do get older, I mean, times are changing, like literally no doubt about that. It's always too slow, but it's definitely changing. I mean, every time you see the news or whatever, or you go to supermarkets or whatever, there's big changes going on. So you never know. By the time my children are 15, 16, going into the early 20s, they're going to be living in a lot more of a vegan world, if that makes sense. I think the percentage would be a lot higher. What's it now, like 7% or something? No, is it? No, isn't that high? It's not that high, is it?
Is it 12%?
12,
something
13
like
point something percent.
What's that? The world? I find that mental.
It's crazy.
That seems way too high for me.
We found another statistic as well, that there is more vegans in England than there are Sikhs at this current moment.
Really?
Yeah,
Well,
we found that out the other day from one of our
Did you know?
live
I didn't actually know this. This is like probably going a bit off topic now, but I just talking about Sikhs. Like I've made some did some work the other day, and I was working with some Sikhs, and I was just talking to them, and I was saying, "Oh yeah, I'm vegan," and a lot of Sikhs are saying that kind of traditional Sikhs are actually vegetarian, and a lot of her family was vegan, and so yeah, that's cool. So you kind of mix and match that. That's that's quite interesting.
Yeah.
But I find that mental. That 12% of the global is it?
I can't remember.
That seems way too high. But I mean, that's amazing if that's true.
Does anyone know in the comment section?
If anyone of our mods can quickly go Google Scholar it, that would be great.
So what do you guys in the chat think? I mean, do any of you? I know there's a few in there that have got kids. What do you think about this subject?
Wasn't it like silence to violence is compliance or something like that?
Silence is violence.
No, I don't know. I can't remember it.
Being silent to violence is
compliance, isn't it?
Yeah, it's compliance to the violence.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question to you guys? Like, and something I've been picked on before about my personal opinion is and this, I've said it before, but I genuinely think that children, probably as young as, I don't know, I'd say that's kind of a touchy subject. Maybe
no, go for it.
Maybe I'm just trying to think of the age which I would actually think would be acceptable, but say like maybe early primary or maybe mid kind of primary school years. It should be like curriculum to be watching Dominion. I genuinely believe that. And the reason why, I know people are, and I agree, people are going to say, it will affect them. It will, cause them,
like a trauma,
traumas and stuff. Yeah. But and my response to that is, and I totally agree, but my response would be, well, yeah. Because it's literally the truth. Like, that's if it doesn't cause trauma, then the fact that's traumatic, well, that kind of shows you that it's wrong, isn't it? It should be,
the farmers would go mad if that happened, wouldn't they?
Yeah. I do generally think that it's possibly not first year. Maybe I did 3-tier system, so I was in like first, middle, and high.
Okay.
You were?
Yeah, maybe middle school.
So maybe a middle school age, like a year.
Yeah, I don't understand. My wife does like middle. 7. I don't understand these middle schools. Like I just did year 1 to 11.
You did a one school system.
No. But like
boarding school.
Year 1 to year 6, and then year 7 to year 11.
Yeah. So we were in. I'd say about year 6 or 7.
Year 1 to 4, then 5 to 8.
I think around SATs levels. I don't know. It's probably all changed. Around SATs
yeah, so
levels,
I'm thinking even like if when they're like 10 years old.
Yeah, I think SATs. I don't know what year SATs is. I don't know whether it's changed.
I don't know, but
I think
about 11 years old.
It's year 6 or 7. I think
about 10, 11.
So it's about 10, 11. Yeah.
I definitely don't think Young
any
children,
younger than that.
definitely not.
Don't.
Oh no,
Because
I
it
mean,
would
you
strip
don't
them of
need
that
to-
innocence, wouldn't it?
Because they get nightmares,
You
don't
know,
they?
I think maybe
yeah,
don't get me wrong, like you shouldn't. I mean, it is a hard one, and I totally. Yeah, sometimes I do question, think, oh, would that be right? I mean, don't get me wrong. I when you're talking about toddlers, do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's literally like horrific. But I don't know, because sometimes I'm kind of like maybe question myself. Like something, obviously, yeah, you don't want to be causing trauma. You don't want to be, causing children like trauma for the rest of their lives and cause them nightmares. But I think I just find it. I find it an odd concept of why people would be so against it, because it's literally showing them like the truth. I mean, yeah, you teach children, about wars, about millions of people getting killed and etc. etc. You're teaching children about all different horrific things that maybe happened in the kind of human history. Well, why can't you tell them what's going on right now to animals?
Well, I know
it depends whether you would want to, because if you're going to show content like that, they have grades, don't they? Like 12, PG, 18, whatever is that like universal
I think
or something?
so.
You'd have to kind of grade it, wouldn't you? I think looking at it that way.
But what about this perspective? Kids in some of these schools, I mean, when I was on a run a while ago, there was like the nursery or a school or whatever had these farm animals attached to it. And I know there's places out there that will hand rear these animals from birth and then send them off to slaughter. Well, do the kids get to see that? They probably don't, because it would traumatize them, and they'd never want to eat it ever again.
That's another thing as well. People, it's like we were watching I wasn't deliberately watching it. We were watching KFC advert, and like they're happy to show the end product, and then they have like this like the chicken, like the blokey walks around like happy as Larry, like, yeah, look at me, I'm the trademark. And so they're happy to show the before and they're happy to show the after, but there's no, it's all a grey area when it comes to the processing of it.
Well, yeah, I mean, you've actually said it spot on there, Adam. Like, I mean, why is it? Like, for example, right, let's say cigarettes, for example. Like cigarettes, you have to be 18 in this country to smoke cigarettes. And they're always they're behind the counter. Now you can't even see them.
Yeah.
So why is it acceptable for children to be allowed to walk down aisles where there's literally dead animals?
Yeah, just like unrecognizable.
Yeah,
They
I mean,
don't look like animals, though, do they?
No.
Yeah, but I mean, you say that, but it's still like blood. I mean, you can still get like kind of the very like raw state with blood in a packaging. But they're not allowed to look at cigarettes or like a porn magazine, but they're allowed to just see like dead parts. But then you're not. But then that's fine. But then you're not allowed to show, the chicken being blended up.
No,
it's mental.
I think they need to be told the truth in school, not necessarily the image, but they need to be told the truth. They're not told that a cow gets farmed and has to be impregnated, and then it goes and the calf's taken away to get the milk, so the calf doesn't get the milk, the mother's milk. They're not told all of these things. They're just, there's a happy cow on the
and they eat grass and
they
make milk.
They eat grass and they get milk. Yeah,
and I'm pretty sure like some farmers who have children don't tell them the full reasons behind why they separate their calves from their mothers.
I grew up with my dad being a dairy farmer.
Okay, that's interesting.
And milking cows. So we used to, on the weekend, we used to go to the farm and help milk the cows. And not once did I ever see a calf.
Yeah, or question why.
Not once. Not once. So when I found out, it's like, I don't know, probably like when I went vegan like a year ago, that a cow has to produce a young to then produce milk. You're like,
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, like you think of it, you're like, how stupid am I to think that a mammal has to have a young to produce milk. So
same as me. I used to think cows just grazed around on grass all day and that was it. They just boom, milk.
Yeah. So kids need to be told at a young age that to get milk from a cow, cows need to be pregnant.
Exactly.
For us to take that milk, they have to take the calf away, so then we can drink their milk. So there's a calf that's going missing of his own mother's milk.
Mm.
So like, you can say that to kids. That's not violent. That's just the truth.
Yeah.
I'm interested to
And-
see what Ruth has put. I think she's put
Yeah.
something up above about her son playing with swords,
This
and he
one.
asked. There we go.
So yeah, I think we've told this to Jack as well, that cow's milk is for baby cows,
Mm.
and we've literally said that's what it's for, nothing else. We're trying to teach Jack that these animals are not here for us neither. They're here for their own families, and they're not a commodity that which should be played around with. I think that's what we're
I
teaching.
don't think that's a comment though.
Is that not the one?
No, it was about him playing with swords, and he asked.
There
There you go. My 6-year-old loves play fighting with swords and stuff, and started asking me what weapons do they use to kill animals. How did you explain that, Ruth? If you want to come on and tell us, you're more than welcome. That's how do you explain that? Because we know what happens.
I've dropped the link down in the comments.
God, I dread that. I dread that.
We had a little. Sorry.
No, sorry, Adam. Sorry.
It's okay. No, it's all right. I was going to say something.
I was just that's just Ruth just got me thinking. Sorry, Toby, how old's your child, Toby?
He's 5.
5, yeah. So a bit older than himself. 4. And Daniela, you've obviously got Jack's 3 now, hasn't he? Hi, Ruth. I just had a Ruth got me thinking of that question. So when, and it's kind of a question to myself as well. When were your children? Say, what age would they need to be if they said to you, how do these animals get killed? Or I don't know, if they ever asked, oh, can I see it? Oh, I don't believe you. Or, they want to watch. Would you be like,
that's a tough one, isn't it?
Let's get some popcorn and let's have a watch. When would you watch that?
I don't know. It's a hard one, isn't it? You could probably explain to them that they get killed by a knife, like across the throat kind of thing. But maybe sit down and watch that happen, especially at 5, or would be a bit too much maybe. But
yeah,
I don't know, maybe 7,
Just a bit.
7 or 8, you could show a little bit.
Yeah. It's just I just got me thinking, like, if your child said,
out, couldn't you?
Yeah. I mean, because if you said that was your high Ruth, by the way, you said your child actually asked what weapon. I mean, that's quite worrying. That's quite sad and worrying that a child has had to ask that question.
But that's what I was sort of saying about earlier, that when children go on to ask these more in-depth and detailed questions, then they're probably more ready to hear a more detailed answer, or even see something a bit more detailed. They're a bit more inquisitive, aren't they?
Yeah.
Did she? I think Ruth. I think you might have had the YouTube video still playing in the background.
Yeah, just get rid of the YouTube video.
When you click to come into the studio, you can close down the YouTube video or pause it.
Yeah,
that's what happened there.
It's a really interesting one, though. That one is.
Yeah.
What weapons do they use to kill the animals? God.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a question you kind of want to be answering, is it? It's like
she's put. Oh, she's going to try that. But she did put a comment here saying I use knives or sometimes guns. We had a little moment today. Was it something to do with bullets? Nerf. That's it. We were going around litter picking. We were litter picking today around our area, and we found a Nerf gun foam bullet. And he asked what a bullet was. Didn't he?
I'm so glad I wasn't there for that conversation.
You were there. I just thought I'm not ready for this conversation. I'm just ignoring him. And luckily, I just got him to put it in the bag, and all was forgotten. So
he'll come back. Back.
Yeah.
There's harder questions for them that to come, Adam.
I know. Yeah, that's what I mean. Because I thought if I open this Pandora's box now, it'd be like, well, what's a bullet for, and then a gun, and then what's a gun for, and then you could just see the can of worms exploding everywhere.
I was thinking more like when he's like, oh, Where's a
The
baby
birds and the
come?
bees. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's asked that before. I just
But yes,
Welcome back, Ruth.
Ruth, have you closed down the video?
Sorry about that.
Have you closed down the video in the background now, so you're not hearing
Yeah.
two sets of videos
better.
playing?
Welcome.
So-
Anyway, nice to have you back.
Yes.
Thank you.
Did you want to explain to us a little bit in more detail about this whole sword situation? Because that sounds like a tricky one.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to preface this by saying that I'm not a militant vegan and I'm not showing my son's slaughterhouse footage. But so we like started parenting like, you know, pacifist, like no guns. And he went to an outdoor nursery where they spent all day making bows and arrows and swords out of sticks. So like, you know, we're full on militarized now. As like, you know, and I would also say that his great grandmother died when he was 3, which I think gave him that kind of clear death trigger, like, you know, he got it. So I've always kind of pledged to be honest with him. But I think, like you're saying, you know, you try and limit things as you go along. But he has asked some really blunt questions along the way. He's 6.5 now, which I've answered. So if he's asked me about how cows are killed, I have told him about a captive bolt pistol. And I haven't gone into any detail, but what he's interested in is the weapon, because he's got a weapons interest. I promise he's not psychopathically interested in animals, but he's trying to make sense of this very weird world where it happens. And so he understands that baby chickens, if they're male when they're born, will be killed, and that might be by suffocation. I've told him that knives might be involved in slaughter too. They're part of his interest, and it is really kind of tense because you're dealing with something that's quite big, and it's funny in a way because we often have these conversations in the countryside when we're staying with my mum.
Okay.
You know, but it's that thing about the vegan experience of the world is so different because you drive through the countryside at the moment, it's full of lambs gambling in the fields.
Oh, it's horrible.
And you're just having this view about their hell, you know, that's to come. And it's tricky when you're having those conversations with a non-vegan person present, because they just, it's my mum, just wanted to like pretend that it wasn't happening. And you're like, but it is. And that's why it's important that we don't do these things. And it's, for me, it's a way of protecting my son, I suppose, because I think it would be unfair to send him out into the world as a vegan without the undercurrent of why it you know, just because it's nice doesn't help you. I think in the face of like a tempting chocolate bar or whatever, you need to understand that animals die, and then it's logical that you're going to explore that process further as you grow up, I think.
I often wonder how.
Sorry, silence.
It's what we've all got to go through there, and I'm really glad that you've brought that up, because how do parents who eat animals, how do they do these conversations? Because the children are eating them, so what's that kind of conversation like?
It's usually like, oh, you'll make you big and strong, or you know, it's things like that, isn't it?
You know, interestingly, my dad was really honest. Like, my dad was and is still a massive carnivore, but I remember a conversation with him where I was asking about meat, and he said, well, it's the muscle of animals. And that was a huge shock to me, because the way that it's described to children, I think, is often that meat comes from an animal. Like, they must have something special. They're different to us. So meat must be something they kind of grow specially that we eat.
Right.
Not that it is literally, you know, a sawn off bit. Like, it's a sawn off bit. You know, and I probably went veggie reasonably soon after, at the age of 10.
That makes sense.
So I think parents, like omniparents, probably fall into kind of dividing lines about really trying to hide it from their kids, like, and a little bit of honesty, which sometimes sparks a breakdown in the way you see the world.
And then our kids come along and ruin the party for them. Oh, you're eating a dead animal. Like, I think I mentioned ages ago, they were all sat around a table about to have cow's milk. Jack would have had his plant milk. Gone, oh, that's cow's breast milk. I'm not having that. Pushed it out of the way. And all the kids are like, I'm not having that. It's cow's breast milk. The vegan kids come along, and
Yeah,
then the
it
questions
triggered a
start.
massive revolt in the
Yes.
In the
an
system.
uprising in the nursery, didn't it? And then we had to have we got called in and had to have a sit down conversation.
It's very interesting, though.
Yeah.
Yes. Seba's like, can we make some plaques and go out saying vegan army, vegan army? So funny.
And what do you think? I mean, I was having a conversation the other day with, I won't say who it is in case they don't want me to say, but their daughter wants to attend a vigil, and I think she's 10. And when is the right time for kids to do stuff like that? I mean, that vigil we went to recently was traumatizing.
Mm.
I don't know.
But she's 10, so when you're 9, you can make the decision like of what parent you want to live with. So if she wants to go to a vigil, then you can't really stop her, can you?
Yeah, I'd say she's old enough to know that she wants to go and she knows what it's about. It's fair. I wouldn't take my son until he wanted to go. But like, I took him on an animal rights demo. It must be 2 years ago now. You know, and he had a ball, and I think it was quite profound for him because you hear everybody around you chanting these amazing slogans, you know, that reflect your belief, and I think it's really powerful. He held that for a long time. I think the power of a vigil is very different. Yeah, but when you own that you're ready to hold it, that's fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to do some marches and some stuff with him.
Oh, that's it, plant-based Leon.
Oh, hey Leon, how are you doing?
GVG's live sent me here. Thank you
bless
very
you.
much for everyone in the GVG live.
Oh, thank
guys,
you.
I've got to go. Yeah, I love you, Olivia, and yeah, we'll talk soon.
Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you for popping up. Bye, Aaron.
Take care, guys.
Awesome.
Before we carry on, Ruth said something about her son being like really addicted to weapons and things like that, and he's not a psychopath.
It's what all
Jack
kids do.
at the moment is going through a phase. I just want to reassure you. Like, we started off by watching like rally cars because he loves cars and he loves seeing them going fast and jumping, and all of a sudden he just loves to watch them crash. And before, I'll be sat because he knows how to work the telly, he knows how to turn it on, he knows how to go onto the YouTube app, and I'll be walking in and he'll just watch like a car crash compilation of just like crashes and smashes, and you just walk past, you like spitting your coffee out, like thinking, what the bloody hell are you watching? And he's just, no, Daddy, they're going fast, really fast. I'm like, yeah, and they're crashing, So yeah, I think it's just a phase that I think they go through. I swear he's not a psycho. But yeah, it's just crazy how the rally is just turned into destruction derby.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, we've got a new guest in the back. So,
now, the vegan moon cat. Hello.
He's a very special man.
How are you?
Hello. I would have been here before, but Grumpy just wouldn't let me go. He loves the sound of my voice. He just can't get enough of
We
it.
all do.
Welcome to the stream, man.
Now,
Toby! Woo!
I know. I'm glad you're
Andrew,
here because
woo!
your children are older than ours.
I don't have any children.
Oh.
I've sent them all away. I only have Jerry now. I only have Jerry.
Okay.
Oh, I'm kidding. No, my kids are, I have 4 of them, and they are 10, 13, 15, and 19.
Okay, so you can probably answer all our questions then.
Oh.
Yes.
Fire away. I'm ready.
So we've been having a discussion about when Ruth had an experience where her 6-year-old son is into swords, like a lot of kids.
So is my Thomas.
And says, what weapon do they use to kill animals with? So we've had an interesting discussion about how do we explain that to our kids. So considering yours are older, have you had any?
I've completely lost what you said there. I was listening. Ruth's 6-year-old's into swords.
Yep.
So she's just like play swords, you mean, and stuff, and whatever. And we're talking, and how are you relating that to animals? Sorry.
Yeah. So what weapons do they kill animals with?
That was the question that was asked to Ruth.
from her son to Ruth.
Oh, what? Oh, the 6-year-old asked you what they killed. Well, oh God, do you mean do you mean should you tell him about knives in throats and stuff like that and ruin swords for him entirely, or is that what you mean? I find the best thing with children is just never lie. Never lie to them. Just tell them the truth. I mean, 6 is young. Don't get me wrong. 6 is very young. I mean, my kids were a little bit older when I think Bella was 6.5 when she was 6.5 when I went vegan. I started off by explaining, never showed her any visual stuff or whatever. Never sat down and made her watch Earthlings or Dominion or anything else. But I explained to her, about different things. But it's only really in the last couple of years that I've started telling them more about how they kill animals and what apparatus they use in the gas chambers and macerators and all these other things. I mean, because if you've got other people pumping a load of lies into the head, saying that all the dairy cows are in a big field having a jolly life, and then they just go to sleep and wake up on your plate. I mean that's just a lie. And as parents, we need to be as honest as possible with them, without scarring them, obviously. But but we actively also have to fight society's programming of them. I mean, you've got an entire world that's trying to program into doing the wrong thing. And if you're going to give a child a good reason for not eating that chicken McNugget or that Haribo, then they have to be, because they don't see the harm in them. You give them a Haribo, you can't see the damage. You're just seeing a shiny, glossy little sweet. So you've got to sort of tell them, the facts. Otherwise, you're absolutely you're doing them the animals a disservice and your children. I mean, does he want a proper answer? the 6-year-old, does he literally want to hear it?
Yeah, I did answer, but I kept it kind of brief. So I talked about
what methods. Which animals were we talking about specifically? Did you mention any in your talk to him?
So it's come up a couple of times. So I told him about captive bolt pistols when we were talking about cows, and I said kind of in general, knives might be used sometimes, because he was asking, would knives ever be used? But, yeah. I mean that's the thing. My 13-year-old Tom, he's obviously a lot older, but he's been into swords since he was born. I think he'd have been quite happy to have a katana or something in his hand from the moment he came out of the womb. He's absolutely obsessed with knives, but he's fully aware that that they cut animals with them and harm them with them, like knives and stuff. So but he still likes swords. He just likes he likes the idea of them swishing around, and the warrior thing, and all that sort of stuff. And I don't think it's ruined it for him knowing. But all you can do is be honest. I mean, what else can we do? I mean, as I said, the whole world's trying to tell them lies. I mean, they don't need another person in their lives telling them the same rubbish. But I wouldn't let the sword. I don't know. I mean, I don't think the sword thing related to. I don't think even if you tell them the truth about swords and and everything else, like slicing style weapons, I don't think it necessarily ruins swords for him. No, still got a collection of way too many swords that I'm going to admit to you on air. Yeah,
I mean, it's like if I was a kid and even if somebody told me they harm an animal with a knife, I wouldn't have thought my toy Thundercat sword was the same thing anyway. It's still good to go. As long as they're not harming an animal. Yeah, He-Man. I never saw He-Man harm any animals with that sword. To be honest, I don't think he ever even hurt any of the bad guys. No. It's the amount of times he struck somebody with that sword and they've come off scot-free. Yeah, I wouldn't worry. I wouldn't worry about it. I don't think it. The only thing I can say about kids is irrelevant to sort of like swords and stuff. Is just tell them the facts, and when you think it's an appropriate age, start introducing stuff that maybe is a little bit more difficult. Like Bella came to me and she said, "I still want to eat eggs." I said, "Well, you're not getting them." That was my first response. This was a couple of years ago. I said, "Well, you're not getting them, but I used to like the way you made the eggs for me." "Well, we're not getting them, and but why?" I said, "Well, we just don't." And then, "But why?" And I thought, all right,
But
just going
why?
to say it. So, but I was telling her, well, they harm the baby chicks, and in the egg industry, and blah blah, and they also, make the mummy hens lay way more eggs than they're supposed to, and it hurts them, because they're only supposed to maybe lay 12 to 15 a year, and they lay hundreds, but she wasn't quite getting it; it wasn't sinking in. So I showed her one 5-second video of baby chicks going along a conveyor into a macerator. She never asked me for an egg again. Because that video said way more than I could ever say. Because, I mean, they're pumping them with like a happy chicken on an egg box, looking like it's having its best day ever. So I'm just going to have to counter it, and unfortunately, the truth is horrific.
It is horrific.
But what can you do? What can you do?
So another interesting one, there's two things I'm going to ask you because we've discussed about this. So you've mentioned showing something to your daughter. When do you think it's a good age to show them actual footage? What sort of age? If they were in school, should it be part of the curriculum? What age would be a suitable age to watch slaughterhouse footage?
It's very tricky because it upsets me tremendously. When I watch it, I mean, I couldn't even get through Seaspiracy. It upset me that much when I was watching it. I struggled, but I have watched a lot of other footage, but for some reason, Seaspiracy was really getting to me. So it's hard to really say what age you should show them. I've only really shown them a lot of footage when it's come up why they shouldn't do a certain thing. Currently. So if, like Bella with the eggs, or saying, well, or like showing the kids like the milk production and letting them know what happens to the animals in the end, and all the the mastitis and the pus, and and all the I've shown them like the forcible impregnation and stuff like that, because it's just they've got so many other things going, attacking them from all sides, like kids at school. Why are you vegan? Why don't you eat that? They've got the press showing everything is hunky-dory, they've got all this other stuff. So it takes something quite graphic to sometimes shock them. But what age to introduce that, and should it be in schools? I'd like to see, the vegan in me wants to say, yes, put it in schools immediately. It really does. Put it on the curriculum. Make Earthlings or something like like a mandatory watching. It's like I was saying in the last stream, for instance, when they've got these science classes where they've got animals that they need, dead animals that they're having them cut up, like vivisection and stuff like that. It's all the other kids are just dossing around with it, like throwing a pig's heart around or something like that. And Thomas is like, I'm not even being here. And he's got teachers say, grow up, Tom. Don't be so childish. It's just a pig's heart. We got it from the butchers. What else is it going to do? It's dead anyway. And he's going, well, that's not the point, is it? The animal didn't need to die, and all these other things. And then he knows fine well that I've shown him the gas chambers and all the other stuff. So it's not just his dad saying, oh, pigs are treated badly. He knows the extent of it is because he's watched it. So he has a very, very, very strong reaction when somebody tries to make him cut a pig's heart. Whereas if he's just got my word that they're not treated very nice, then it's going to be easy for him to go, well, he says they're not treated very nice, but how bad can it be? So I
it
feel
is
like,
bad. It's very bad.
It feels bad. So I don't. Did they still? I mean, it's been a while since I've had a kid. I mean, they had that healthy plate thing on the thing, at school, where they were telling everyone that you had to milk and egg on milk and meat on there for protein and calcium and stuff at some point, and Bella did a plate that didn't have any of that on and had other stuff on, and they were going, oh, well, you've not put any of these products on there. And they were negative about that as well. So I think I think the question is a little bit mute at the minute, just for the fact that I don't think schools are anywhere near showing anything like that in school. They can barely get their head around the kids not drinking cow's milk.
Farmers would be in uproar. They would hate it.
I'm not necessarily fond of the idea of graphic content from a very early age, but I think once you reach but this is a struggle, because by the time they reach secondary school, they're already fairly indoctrinated, aren't they? It's such a difficult question. What do you guys think?
Toby, were you going to say something then?
I was just saying that I think veganism probably should be on the curriculum, but at an early age, before all of this sort of slaughter footage. But because then you're like, what is veganism? What do people do if they're vegan? What do they eat if they're vegan? And then that's gonna cause more sort of questions amongst the kids, isn't it? And then there should be maybe taught the real practices in farming, that this is what happens to get your chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
The chicken has to die. Like, you could start that younger than
Yeah, you could definitely,
when
like you say, you could stop with the lies and give a bit of truth. Like, all right, they genetically modify hens to lay this many eggs, and it damages their reproductive systems and causes them to, like this kind of harm. You could teach those factual sort of like non-graphic facts to them from a very early age, for sure. There's no impotence to do that at the moment. They're not remotely interested in doing that in the slightest, as far as I'm aware. I mean, you guys have had a lot more dealings with the schools than I probably have, so you'll probably you'd
Not
be more
me,
aware.
yes.
With what you've been doing with the schools initiative and stuff. So, but yeah, it's something I definitely think needs addressing, but no one's got any sort of like inclination to do it apart from we vegans.
Yeah.
So we're nowhere near, absolutely nowhere near. I mean, as I say, I've had people throw ham at Tom in the past, in the canteen, and teachers just dismiss it because they don't even see the harm in it themselves. It's not a very vegan institution.
No.
Yeah.
I think
Well,
that
I'm Easy Vegan was
bullying
saying,
is so hard and so commonplace. That I think your point, Toby, about needing to educate in schools is really important, because it's about saying, actually, here you've got a protected belief that is routinely being discriminated against, and it is a school's job, actually, under the law, to protect all those groups, of which we are one. So I just think that's a profoundly important shift that we need to make, and doing that doesn't bring in slaughterhouse footage, but it does bring up, a discussion about saying vegans don't eat animals because they don't think it's right to, because they have to die. And in a way, like, that's enough. I don't need them to show slaughterhouse footage in schools. I just need to acknowledge that.
They can't even get school meals right, though, can they? I mean, Bella forgot her pat lunch the other day, so they phoned up and said, "Oh, she's forgot a pat lunch. Is she right to have a school meal and you can pay for it?" I said, "Yeah, but obviously remember she's vegan, so no animal products, blah blah blah." She carried me home and I said, "Well, what have you had for dinner then?" She said, "Well, they hardly had anything, so I had a slice of dry bread." It's like, if they'd said they didn't have anything, one of us would have gone down with a pat lunch. But they said that they had something for her to eat, and it ended up being that they just fed her a piece of dry bloody bread. It's like, wow.
That's made me raging. That's
it's horrendous. So she was absolutely starving when she got home. She was ravenous. She was going, "When's my tea ready? When's my tea ready?" And even after she'd had a tea, she was still hungry.
I think you might need to get in contact with Ruth there and get a pack sent to that school.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you know there's a really
terrible
exciting recommendation come out of the government's, I'm going to get the name wrong, but it's their Commission on Climate Change. They've done a recommendation paper for local authorities, and one of the recommendations is that all schools every day should serve a plant-based option, and that all their catering teams should get educated in preparing vegan and vegetarian food. I'm just like, wow, that's so powerful, and that's now coming out of a kind of a more centralized body. So that, like you're saying, Toby, there is this point that we're edging towards, that's like tipping point. Not there yet, but so close.
Yeah, it's definitely. And they shouldn't just cop out and go, "Oh, well, the government's recommended one plant-based meal, so they can have a baked beans on a potato."
It feels like neglect to me. That's what it feels like. They've neglected your child.
They have, but they don't see it. It's like, well, it's not our fault that she's vegan, sort of attitude.
No,
it's like.
Not.
It's like, well, what we're to do? It's we've got all this food and offer. It's our fault that she won't eat it. It's would they say that if a kid was on school dinners and I know it wasn't an ethical choice, but they had something like a dairy allergy or a nut allergy, would they be so flippant at that point? No, it's because they know it's not. If Bella eats something with milk in, it's ethically not what she wants to do, but you know, it's not going to kill her, you know, so you know, or make her sick. Well, it might do now because, to be honest, she's been vegan for a number of years, you know, and for all, you know, I mean, I know that I accidentally ingested some milk in a product which wasn't supposed to have milk in when we went out. And I was sick for 2 days. I can't even, you know, tolerate the slightest amount of dairy, you know, appearing accidentally in my food. So I'm sick afterwards.
Muslim children.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I hate bringing religion into it when we compare the two.
Hello.
But like, if they were Jewish and they didn't have, like, you know, kosher, you know,
on your way, nobody wants you.
The school is anti-Semitic, or if they, you know, if they were Muslim and they didn't have, and then all of a sudden, you know,
oh, we can't feed your kid because, you know, that's awful.
So I hate comparing the two, but you know, you can see the similarities in the duty of care, and
they just don't see it as something they have to consider at the minute. You know, it's like they just don't care. They just
people that run into
I'm failing words. Oh, sorry, Toby, go on.
The people that run into schools are not vegan, are they? So
no, not at all. They just don't care.
They don't see it as an issue.
And remember, these people are also the same as a lot of other people who aren't vegan. They've got an anti-vegan edge to them in a way. A lot of these people. Yeah. So when a kid's going up to them and they're saying, I can't eat that because, you know, I'm a vegan. Then it's like when you tell it's like when you challenge a non-vegan, you know, in a debate or something. You say you shouldn't be eating that for X reasons. They get the backup because they don't like you shining a light on their, you know, their moral inconsistencies and the fact that they're harming animals for unnecessary reasons. And it's even worse when a kid's telling them that, because why does the kid know better than them? But it's already leading a better life, you know, and a more ethical. It's already made it. The child's already made a more ethical choice.
Yeah, maybe they should be teaching about morals and ethics and stuff in schools.
Definitely.
Ruth, just going back to your project that you're doing, when we interviewed you, I'm sure you said something about an equality team at the school. Was that something that you mentioned?
So every school, I think, will have an inclusion officer. So I think they're a good person to approach. I also recently learned that they have to have something like an equalities policy. I will go back and find the exact word. But my next look at my child's school is to ask to see the policy and to discuss how veganism is included, because, you know, it won't be. They won't have thought about it. But under the Equality Act, they should have done.
Yeah.
So I think they're good pressure points when you're in your ongoing dialogue with schools to, you know, gently pick up on with, you know, the form teacher or the head and just start to explore. Because, I mean, you're right that it's so triggering for these conversations with school teachers. When I came on last time, I think I said the first time I had a conversation with my son's head teacher around this area, I walked into the room and he said, well, you're not going to turn me vegan. I'm like, hello, I've come to discuss my son's education. I haven't come in here with a placard, you know.
No, it's funny. It's very crazy. I mean, one of Tom's teachers, he's in secondary school. He's the 13-year-old. One of his teachers was sort of like, for a moment, for a split second, you know, a few months, was interested in veganism and would speak to Tom about it, and was trying some plant-based options, and you know, they were quite supportive. But that particular teacher, as far as I'm aware, decided not to go down that road in the end. I went back to the diet that everyone else eats, and then just was very dismissive about Tom's sort of veganism after that, and you know, and really wasn't very supportive at all. Because so unless you get the teachers on your side, unless you educate them and unless you start getting the teachers to feel, it's almost like you just wish all the schools were manned by, taught by, all the kids were taught by vegans. At least you'd have a chance then, because they get where you're coming from. But like, teachers are just people. I've worked in a few schools, and teachers are just everyday normal people, flawed the same as everyone else is, you know, with their own opinions and their own problems, and they let that affect their judgment, and you know, they let it play a role that it probably shouldn't roll their own opinion. You know, you shouldn't play that role. So they're not going to push it because they're like everyone else. They don't want to see it in themselves, so they don't want to acknowledge it. You know, until the teachers I don't know until there's a law saying they, well, it is protected now, isn't it? Veganism, but the teachers don't know that. They don't care. I've as I said, I've worked in schools and I've seen them. They're just flawed individuals like us all. If it's not something they're particularly interested in or support themselves, they're not going to particularly respect a kid's sort of judgment on it. I mean, you talk to a science teacher about like slicing up a frog or whatever, they don't see the harm. So when they're telling Tom stop being stupid, it's because they literally can't see it. It's not it's not working in their minds very well. It's like you need to do this. So, and I said to them when I called them, I said, well, instead of like cutting up dead frogs or dead hearts and stuff, why don't you just get them all in the IT suite, get a computer 3D rendered model of this particular item up there where they can spin it around, pull it apart, look at different aspects of it, put it together, see the flow diagrams of how the blood goes through this. Instead of putting a dead piece of flesh in front of them on a plate, for them to dangle it in their in their science partner's face, going woo, which is all kids do with it. I mean, when was the last time anybody learned in a science lesson from cutting up a heart? Unless they're when was the last time?
I wasn't there for science. I can tell you that now.
No 30-year-old.
It just looks like a bloody mess.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a bloody mess. You can't make out anything, and all it's good for is teasing other kids with by slapping it in the face, because that's all kids do with it. And that's one of the reasons why Tom didn't want to be in the room for it, and because they're literally just like flapping at each other with them. They're not learning anything other than to act like idiots.
It almost gives them reassurance to do it later on in life. Oh well, I did that in school. I can do that now on my plate.
Yeah. It's just another one of those things, isn't it? It's just. I mean. We're living in 2021 with I've worked in schools as the IT manager. It's like one of the schools I had, and they had nearly 1,000 computers, and they're still making kids cut up dead body parts on when you can literally just look at 3D rendered models, which are way more educational.
How amazing would that be if they got a chance to 3D print all these amazing, wonderful anatomy.
Exactly. I mean, instead of every single like year group or whatever in every science lesson getting people to cut up dead animals, why don't you invest in some 3D models of these particular items that can be dismantled like an eye or something like that, and then they can use them year after year after year after year. Less animals dying, they'll have less overheads because they've got these now, and there'll be way more than just a bloody mess on the plate, in the petri dish or whatever. They'll actually be educational. Which isn't that the point? Not just ticking a box to say they've cut something up.
Yeah, there was some great research I put in the pack that we send to schools that said that if you use those kind of 3D models, the kids learn better.
Yes, 100%.
Do it again and again. Like you cut up a real heart and it's in bits, whereas on the screen you can go like, I'm going to practice. And they thought some of the effect might be because of trauma as well. Kids were upset by it, and you don't take in anything if you're in shock.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just helping desensitize them to the horrific nature of all this stuff, isn't it? It's just another nail in their vegan existence, by constantly getting them used to things they shouldn't be getting used to.
So one of the other discussions we had earlier was explaining to our kids.
Actually, before we go too far,
right? What we missing?
Right. So I know. We're talking like high schools now, aren't we? But
well, I was going to change the subject.
No, I was going to say, well, how do you prepare someone who wants to work as a heart surgeon and things like that? Would you say then that needs to be further on looked at in like med school, or and again, it opens up the corpse thing, doesn't it?
It's moving away now.
I know. We're talking about children.
I did like level, Adam, and I didn't have to dissect in it. It's not compulsory.
No.
So you cadaver in first year.
Yeah, I was going to say.
No.
Most of the point, you won't be cutting up a pig's heart or anything else. Really, it won't be as useful as actually people who've donated their bodies to sort of like medical science, etc. So you've got a cadaver to work with, and you're actually working on an actual human anatomy. Or I can't remember the name of it now, but I was watching something on probably YouTube, knowing me, where they had some medical students that had like fake torsos, you know, and they could with all the organs in and things, and they could pull them out, you know, like blah blah blah. I don't think you need to be cutting up animals to train a surgeon anymore. No. And again, you know, a lot of it's keyhole as well, isn't it? A lot of surgery that they do is keyhole. So a lot of them could, you know, could have I think there's a lot of there's simulations, isn't there, for surgeries now that they do as well, because they don't want, you know. So there's lots of other things coming through. You know, I'm not a medical guy, so I don't know how much use, you know, actually cutting these things up is in the end. But I just tend to think it's a very outdated concept, you know.
It certainly is. It needs to change.
No, I wanted to visit that before we moved on, because I wanted, you know, if someone watched this video later on in life, you know, it was good to have an open dialogue of. Like,
but certainly has no place in schools. I know that much.
Yeah, you know, some people might be sat there going, "Well, what about the doctors and stuff like that?" Well, we've answered that. So what were you going to say?
I mean, if you're talking about GPs and stuff, they have absolutely no reason to be cutting anything up there. I mean, they pretty much just. I mean, I've been to the doctors loads. They're basically a pharmacist with more money. You know, it's just like. Sorry. I'm only kidding. But you know, whenever I go to my doctors,
shut down. You will.
Sorry, we love you, GPs. We love you. You've done really well through the lockdown and everything.
Yeah. But generally, whenever I've been to a doctor and I've had issues with my health, it's mainly been what medicine can I prescribe you to keep you from dying, or you know, it's not a health prevention sort of thing, is it?
Not their fault.
It's a treatment sort of thing. And if anything, you know, so there's a high percentage of you know, like doctors and stuff that aren't committed, you know, aren't surgeons, etc. So they definitely don't need to be cutting stuff up. But well, no one does really. But I'll shut up before I annoy every doctor in the world. But
no, you won't.
They have kept me alive before, so I can't say anything about that. They have kept me alive.
It creates open thought on whether it's things, you know, because you get a choice after med school, which sort of thing you have to do a placement on each thing, and then you have to decide which sort of route you're going to go down. And yeah, I think yeah. But anyway, I don't know. I don't want to discuss too much about that. Yeah, I want to get back onto the children.
Yeah, that's what we're here for.
So
I wanted to pick your brains, because we discussed earlier when our children ask, well, why so-and-so isn't vegan? And Jack gets quite upset about why certain relatives aren't vegan. And I've sort of said, well, they're not horrible people. They just haven't made that connection yet. How have you dealt with that? Because you must have been asked why so-and-so and so-and-so isn't vegan. And
Ruth as well.
And Ruth.
You know what? I don't think I've been asked that question by the kids. Okay. You know, why is why such and such not vegan? Because unfortunately, I think I spoke that much about veganism to the kids. They know exactly why these people aren't vegan anymore at the time. They either just don't care, or they like. There's two reasons I've told the kids that people aren't vegan, because they really don't give a poo about animals, or they just like the taste more than they value the animals' lives. I think they're the only two honest answers. I think everything else is an excuse. If people say I can't go there because there's just not enough protein, or I can't get my B12, or I can't do it, I can't do it because it's just so difficult to do. I mean, there's only 10 supermarkets around me. How the hell am I going to get all the plant foods in this kind of like desert? You know, it's just like wow. So it's like really, it's not how it is now. It's good.
But again, it goes back down to not caring, though, doesn't it? Because they're not.
It's like somebody was just in Grumpy Stream. He was a nice enough fella, but he was saying he tried veganism for a week, and he was saying that he found it extremely difficult to find any food that was plant based. You know, it's and so he was asked about that, and to be honest, he was very honest about it and stuff. And in the end, he just did come through and say it's a taste preference, really, you know, which is really the most honest answer people give, I think, when they're talking about still eating animals and their products.
Good, that's good.
But yeah, I've never really had them question why people, and I think it's because I've gone on about it that much. They know exactly why.
Yeah, I like that approach. I mean, we talk about it a lot, but as we were saying earlier, we don't want him to have the burden that we obviously have by knowing what goes on. So,
is it a burden? Because to be honest with you, I mean, while it's very upsetting to know
knowing
and
what
see,
happens to them, I don't
I
want
actually
him at
felt
3.
I actually felt a bit like a weight had been lifted from me when I
In
knew
that sense,
and I
do.
knew and I wasn't doing it anymore. So I mean, if he knows, if the children know that they're doing a good thing and they know that they're actually saving the lives of the animals that all kids mostly care about,
Super kids.
yeah, and they know they're doing the right thing, and you've shown them or told them, you know, exactly what happens. You know, they're going to be able to cope with it. But if all I ever said to the kids was animals don't get treated very nice, you know, in the food industry, so that's why we don't have them. If that's all I told them, it's not a good enough reason for a kid to listen to me. It's just not a good enough reason. They're gonna go to school and they're gonna think, like I said before, how bad can it be? Give me a burger, you know.
Yeah.
But if you have
as
to
they
tell
get
them the
older,
truth, there's no choice.
Definitely. I mean, we were discussing earlier that with Jack only being like almost 4, I still want him to be a kid. I want him to know enough.
They still will be, though. They still will be. I mean, as I say, Bella was like 6.5 or something when I started, 7 when I started telling her things, you know. And you don't need to go full in right away with the worst details, but you know, make sure you start planting all the seeds, and you know, and don't just say that they're not treated very nice. This is my opinion, anyway. I'm not saying I'm any expert, you know, but just, I mean, even if you say to them, you know, with the chicks, you know, even if you say to the, you know, you don't have to show them it like I did, but just say like, well, baby boy chicks can't lay eggs, so but they get born in the millions, billions, however many it is. I don't know the figures now, but you know, so they just kill them on their first birthday. You know, on day 1, they just grind them up and into a mess on the first day of living, and they're dead. You know, and they haven't got any chance of life. You know, it's the truth. You know, what can I say? It's harsh, but what else? But it takes extremes for people to do the right things sometimes. You know, it's like me. I went 40 odd years of my life. You know, just not even considering what I was doing on a conscious level, really. And initially, as I say, I went plant-based when my health took a real tumble, and I was like given only 6 months to live or whatever. And it's only then when I was out of that situation and I gave myself the correct information then about, you know, when I was out of eating animals because we're plant-based, and then I could go in and start looking into the more ethical aspects of it, which is just a natural progression, to be honest, for most people. Yeah. Then you can stomach watching it. So it's worth telling the kids, because you're in control of the kids at the minute. You're feeding them vegan, you know. But there's going to be a time when they've got these options available when you're not around, and at that point, that's the danger level where they could make the wrong decision, because you know we've been afraid to give them more graphic truths, if you see what I mean. So I'm waffling now, but
no, it's needed to be talked about, because for us, we're still very new into these discussions. I said at the beginning that Jack had asked what ham was, and I was very frank, and I just said it's a dead pig, and we had a little chat about what death was. But I haven't given him anything else because there's just no need. And I've told him about the dairy industry and that the baby cows get taken away from the mothers, and he gets that emotion because that's not a nice thing to be on your own.
Definitely don't think it ruins the childhood. I think kids will just accept the truth and get on with living their lives anyway. You know, it's just that if you give them the correct information, then when they're out of your care, you know, at school, you know, and everyone else is getting burgers or like pepperoni pizza or stuff like that, then they're going to realize that they can't have it. And it's not just because of a taste preference or something, or the parents just don't want them to do it. It's because of this consequence. If you eating that has this consequence, you know, there's a victim, someone's dying, someone's suffering, you know, and it's going to take that level of knowledge to stop them doing the wrong thing, to be honest.
I completely agree. And I think that sense of they need to know how bad it is is what creates the tension that you're feeling, Daniela, when your little one is saying, but why isn't so and so vegan? Because it is a moral issue, like it is, and we're trying to protect them in that world so that they don't ostracize everybody who's going to be important to them, because most of us don't live in a vegan community that can handle that. So I think I've maybe got a kind of middle ground that I've progressed to beyond the conversations you've had with Jack, where with my son I've said, they don't do that yet because most people aren't lucky enough to be born vegan, and for them it takes quite a lot of learning to unpick what's being normalized for them, and that they need to learn more about the cruelty. And what we do is try to say, the best thing we can do is to eat yummy, delicious food and be really healthy, and show people that it's a nice, easy thing to do. And that's a kind of comfortable thing that leads to less awkward conversations in the playground.
I have also obviously told the kids that it's not the other children, their peers. It's not the people, it's the other children that go to school with them. It's not their fault that they're not vegan. It's that they have parents that are not vegan, and they're the people that purchase the food, and they're the people who tell them what's right and wrong. So they're listening to those people. And those people aren't willing to go vegan themselves or teach it to their children because of whatever reasons you say, because they just don't believe, they don't care about the animals, or they're asleep to what is happening to the animals, and they don't want to face it, or they've just got a taste preference that they're just not willing to give up. But it's not the children's fault. This is what's happened. As I've said to them, if I wasn't vegan, you wouldn't be vegan. Before I went vegan, I said you ate animals as well. I've had the kids say, "We're so glad that you went vegan, because it would be horrible if we were doing that now," because they've been educated in you can't. There's no way of sugarcoating it. There's just no way of doing it. It's literally no way around it. I mean, as parents, you do worry about are you doing the right thing? Like introducing this information at certain ages. But from my point of view, I've told the kids, they've bounced back. They're absolutely fine. And now when they're out, even if they're like, as I say, in a lesson and trying to make them cut something up they shouldn't be cutting up, he makes the ethical choice not to be part of that and refuses to be in there. If he's in and people are going, "Oh, meat," like they do with Tom, it's like, "Why don't you eat sausages?" or whatever, He knows why he's not doing it, and he knows that he's doing the right thing and they're doing the wrong thing. So and he knows what impact eating those things does. And to be honest, the other thing is as well, just don't let the kids miss out on anything.
No, they definitely don't.
That's the thing. I mean, if they're going to school and everyone else is eating burgers and pepperoni pizzas and God knows whatever else, and you've put them a slice of lettuce in the lunchbox with a bit of a vinaigrette on, then you're gonna have issues. It's really not going to be great. But you send them to school with a meal that looks very similar to what other people are having, but without all the death in there. Then they're not going to feel like they miss out, and if you have birthday parties, make sure they have a big fancy cake or whatever, that's vegan, that tastes nice and whatever, just make sure they're not feeling like they miss out on anything. I think that's the main thing, isn't it? Because I think that's when the real problems would occur if they were having a miserable life. And because food's quite integral, isn't it, to our existence and happiness?
It is.
So if they were having a miserable life because you were literally sending to school with a bag of boiled chickpeas, then it's like they're not going to have a great time of it. But and kids eat junk, so even though obviously vegan doesn't necessarily mean that you're eating healthy anyway. There's adults vegans that eat totally shocking amounts of junk anyway.
Just you over there?
No, I just make sure I don't miss out on anything.
So why should you? That's it. So I don't care if I send the kids to school with some crisps. I don't care if they're having jammy Dodgers. Obviously not Vimto anymore.
No.
No, I heard about that.
And I send them with cupcakes and different things, and they obviously all have some healthy food in there as well, like fruit and whatever. Mostly comes home uneaten.
I bet some not all vegan kids are as good as we make out.
No. I mean, when Tom first went vegan, kids were sort of peer pressuring him into getting stuff, and he'd come home and he said he'd had a baked potato with beans on or something. So I'm suspicious. I whenever my kids' mouths are moving, they're lying to me in some way. So I like to. So I checked on. You can see on the system what he's purchased for food, and initially he'd eaten a burger, or a sausage or something every now and again, because it was new to him as well. He's used to being able to go into school, get a school meal, and eat anything off the menu he wants. So it was a bit of a learning curve for him as well. I brought veganism into his life later than I should have done. Should have been when he was born. So, it was a learning thing for him. And when he came home and I saw he ate the burger, that's when, as I say, I'm more reactionary to a degree. So when he came home and when Bella wanted the eggs, I explained the egg thing. When Tom came home and he'd eaten the beef burger, then I went into why we don't eat cows, and went into that. So as it comes up, sort of like then put the more milder version out there from the very beginning. But then when it starts going a bit rocky because they're asking for something and not taking no for an answer, or because they're coming home and they've had a burger when they shouldn't, that's the time to maybe kick in with more of a harsher truth.
Yeah, I agree.
That's just my opinion. It's not saying anything's right or wrong way of doing it. It's all a very difficult thing. We're living in a very difficult world for a vegan child.
I don't think there's anybody there.
No, there's no one there. It's nice.
Oh, sorry. Hello?
There it is.
Oh, sorry. I'll tell you later. Hello? I don't know.
The Vegan Blaze. How are you?
Blaze.
I'm good. Let me just. I wasn't expecting you guys to take me in so soon, so I'm not with this.
That was awesome.
Sorry, yeah, I just thought I'd just drop it in there. It looked like a nice pillow.
I can feel the algorithm banning you for nudity.
Easy. Right,
so Toby, have you got any questions? Because obviously your little one is in school. Have you got any questions that you want to ask Ruth? Because obviously Ruth's got her vegan inclusive education project. Or have you got anything you want to ask Mark about this subject? I'm putting you on the spot now.
Or do you want to post me several sourdoughs?
Yeah.
I've seen the bread.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I don't really have any questions because Seba's school's pretty good, especially with lunches and stuff. So
that's good.
The odd day, I think 2 days a week, he has jack potato with beans on it. But we just send him in with a pat luncheon that day. But all the rest, he's got like a vegan pasta bake that they do, which he absolutely loves. And they do like vegan chili, and so they do a lot of good menu there. The teachers are really nice, so yeah, there's no issues at the schools at the moment. Maybe when he gets older.
When we nagged Tom's school, he did put Linda McCartney vegan sausages on the menu for about a week, and then got bored of the idea and took them off again.
Linda McCartney sausages are pretty good though.
we had some today. What were they? Heck.
Oh, they're these Heck ones that I found reduced from Tesco, and they've got vegan cheese in, but they're only like little tiny things.
They're like chipolatas.
They're really nice.
We're probably not allowed to say that because they're probably not. They'll be banned.
Has everybody tried the little willies?
No.
No.
Well, sure he has, but that's a different matter.
I don't know who makes them, but they're called Little Willies. That actually says on the packet.
I don't know.
All right, we need to check this out.
I don't know why I'm just tickled by that.
The kids like the Richmond sausages.
Not to my age.
Yeah, they taste exactly the same.
I took a load of them into work, on barm cakes, or whatever people call them. I call them barm cakes, bread rolls, like whatever people give them a name. Barm cakes, that's like a bread roll, like a soft bread roll, like a bun. We call them barm cakes down here. Or up here, where are we? Up north, we're up. All right, a bread roll. I took them in on them, and I said they know I'm not going to give them meat, so they know they're vegan, and they all said I can't really tell the difference. and I bought a couple of, I bought some vegan mayo for people as well, like the Hellman's one. It's like they couldn't even tell the difference,
They
so
do vegan little willies as well.
They do vegan little willies.
We're not back to my personal life again, are we?
On the packet, vegan.
We're not back to my personal life again, are we, Toby?
So I'm going to introduce the Vegan Blaze in a second, but I just wanted to ask the audience if they have any questions about the vegan language we use with kids, or if they have any questions they want to ask Ruth about her wonderful school project that she's got going on. Put them in the chat and make sure that we see them. Keep nagging Adam because he's in control of the comments section, or supposed to be. So, welcome to Vegan Blaze.
Oh, sorry, and also, if anyone's had any experience with little willies, if you could put that in there as well, so we could all discuss that too.
Oh, what has he done? Look.
I thought I'd put it in there because otherwise we'd talk about Klim.
Oh, not again, not Klim.
Oh no, not that one. Oh, dearie me.
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
Right, so we got vegan little willies.
It's always here first, isn't it? That's crazy. Anyway, welcome to our stream. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm sparkling.
We're following each other on Instagram.
You're the person in charge of Instagram.
Yes, but I haven't been doing a lot of Instagram recently because I've been taking a bit of a break.
Yeah.
So I've been having some much needed time off social media because it's always needed.
Yeah. I just started the Vegan Blaze like a couple of weeks ago, and so it's I want it to be a media kind of like, if you guys ever heard of the Young Turks, they're a progressive news channel in California.
No.
And, right. So they're just they're leftists who they have their progressive news channel. And so I came across a channel called the Vegan View, and I thought that was cool because the Vegan View in the United States is a very popular political show with Whoopi Goldberg and the daughter of McCain. And so I was like, let me take another political show then, The Blaze by Glenn Beck.
Okay.
And that's how the Vegan Blaze came to be.
Awesome. Well, it's nice to have you here.
Nice.
So what do you think about what we've been discussing tonight about the language we use with children in regards to telling them the truth, really? It's never easy having to have these conversations, but we have to.
I mean, I've had I don't have children of my own, but I have family members who have children, and I tell them what's up at the 6 or 7. I don't mind, but I mean I try to use I try not to get gory, I just try to explain it in a way where like it doesn't sound too I don't want to have to like there's a video by, I forget who, but she has a whole series on YouTube where she like explains how one could talk to a child. You don't want to talk to them like they're little babies. Like you could talk to them like they're developing. They're developing to being adults eventually. So I think it just depends on like how do you feel, like feeling sort of out how they'll like take it.
You referring to Bite Size Vegan by any chance?
Yeah.
That's a good YouTube channel.
So I definitely checked out her videos, and then PETA does also like books for kids as well, and I have a couple of those. So yeah, I mean, no one in my family yet is vegan, but I'm working on it.
There's lots of us who would say the same there.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be great if we all had vegan family members? It'd be great.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't have to do this, would we, if everybody was vegan?
No, I think we all have family members, obviously, that aren't vegan, but it's. I think I'd struggle. I've just said in Grumpy Stream again. I think I'd really struggle if I had to live with a non-vegan.
Yeah.
I think that's when it would be extremely difficult. And I know many people vegans are struggling with that, where they've got partners and stuff, that don't want to switch, or kids that that have now got older and are so indoctrinated into sort of like meat eating and dairy, etc. And kids are cheekier and more disobedient as they get older.
Yeah.
So it's harder to get the right info in them if you leave it too long.
Hang on, what did you just say, Mark? They're cheekier and they get more disobedient as they get older.
Oh yeah,
really? Oh,
I mean, yes. It's you've got no girls, have you?
no, just
Well,
one little boy.
You are better off then, because like I can say after having like a 50-50 split boys and girls, that girls are way more of a nightmare. Certainly Bella is anyway. Whoa.
Oh, bless her. How old is Bella now?
She's 10. It's like living with a hurricane.
Oh, wait till she's 13.
Crazy.
Ooh, I was awful then.
It's okay. It's okay. The tower has been built. I'll lock it on her 13th birthday. She's going to wake up in the tower with no way out.
That is
no
hilarious.
way out whatsoever.
Poor Bella.
The boys, they're way easier. Yeah. Hey, there he is.
Hey!
He hasn't got a black eye either. You've done well, Jose.
No.
You look punch free.
Well, yeah, he's punch free.
Yeah. Grumpy was threatening to knock him out.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
We're okay. It's nice to be back here, isn't it? It's nice to be back doing the stream and having a good old chat, I think. It's good.
Yeah.
Yes. It is. We got someone else backstage as well.
Yes.
Let me leave you guys. I'll make some space. Lovely to see you all.
Ruth,
thank
it's
you.
been amazing for you to be here. I really appreciate your perspective and you being here.
I've learned a lot, and I feel much
We
better.
have. Yes. Thank you
You
so
guys.
much.
Nice to meet you.
I'm gonna shoot as well. So
Okay, Toby, it's been
Right.
brilliant. Thank you so much for you
Bye.
sharing your perspective.
Nice to see you. Anyone who's not following Toby on Instagram, you're absolutely insane. Go do it now.
What is-
Toby Gosling, vegan
Stop messing
Gosling,
about. And the is it Vegan Army?
vegan
Yeah.
soldier.
Vegan Soldier. So I always get Army and Soldier.
Do you want to
mixed up for
share
some
it,
reason.
Ad?
Yeah.
Come on. Vegan soldier. Everybody go and follow him on Instagram.
He very kindly sent Bella an awesome. I still want to say the wrong thing.
There we go.
The Vegan
Yeah,
Army
yeah.
T-shirt. She loves it.
Okay.
Even though I was just thinking, Toby, we talking about the little penises or whatever they're called. What did you call them again? The little willies. Sorry. I didn't mean that. This came to mind. My mum gave me some vegan meatballs today.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's I mean,
nice.
I don't have the little willies, but I do have some balls. And
Oh God.
I will be popping
Fair
these in my mouth tomorrow. I can tell you that for nothing. Now these things look ace.
Ooh.
So I had the Suma. It's made by Suma. I once had their vegan sausage and beans. It was like
Yes.
amazing.
I've seen them.
I mean, I love it. Just dunk them on the toast and you're away. But
You and mac cheese
meatballs.
as well, I think.
see, this is it. I've got my mum thinking right now. When I first went vegan, she was going, "Oh, a cheese sandwich would be all right then for you, wouldn't it?" But now she's, if she does see anything now, she knows what to get.
That's
Nice.
good. That's good. He's looking for your Instagram.
Yeah, I'm gonna drop it.
There
in,
it is.
Hi, Joy.
Hello.
Oh, can I do it before the mod do it?
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah.
Jo-
Love you and leave you anyway.
What a joy.
Okay.
Nice to see you.
I'm Julie. Invade the stream for a second because I'm not a parent nor an educator,
Doesn't
but I do
matter.
have some questions for you.
Okay.
In terms of vegan content creation, because I think a lot of us are vegan content creators. I know Mooncat is, I know Jose is, and I am. Do you have any tips in that regard? Like, first off, would you let your kids watch YouTube? Because that's a whole discussion on its own. But do you have any tips for vegan content creators to make content that is appealing to kids and that is appropriate for kids to watch?
Well, currently it's car smashing, so we can't really answer.
Yeah, at the current moment, Jack loves to watch rally car crashes. So,
But again,
Between the crashes, go vegan.
Yeah.
I guess
Now
for
smoke,
him,
go vegan.
I mean, we're off to the farm sanctuary tomorrow, and he knows the difference between a farm and a farm sanctuary.
Oh,
So for him, he loves animals, and he wants to see the animals knowing that they're looked after and there's nothing going on. So for his perspective, that would be his interest. But maybe the other guys might be able to, or anyone in the chat might be able to help you there.
But my kids all watch YouTube. I think it'd be a struggle to stop them. However, I've allowed it for far too long. You know, they don't watch anything particularly shifty or anything like that. You know, Bella likes, oh no, not Jerry. What's he doing back?
He wants his daddy.
Again, Bella, you take him with you though, because I'm doing this. Good lad. take little Jerry away. Go on your way with him. But yeah, they all watch YouTube. I'll be honest, the kids don't really watch vegan content. You know, they're into all kinds of weird things. Tom likes
Roblox.
Yeah. Go on, Bella. Good girl.
Love her.
Shut the door, Bella. Shut the door. So yeah, but Bella watches a lot of stuff. She likes anime, you know, so she watches a lot of anime. So she likes watching gaming and stuff like that. You know, it's not particularly. They don't watch vegan channels. I can barely make them watch mine. Yeah, even though they did like, I think Bella liked Zingo when I brought him on. You know, the little puppet guy. You know,
that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, she liked that. It actually wasn't made for kids though. That particular video, it's just made as it's like sometimes carnivore people are so stupid you have to speak to them like you're speaking to a toddler. But you know, but people actually thought it was like, oh, you're doing a whole kids series now. Like
I did love that.
That
You
was good.
were really in love with that, didn't you? You
Oh,
want him to
so-
come back.
Yeah, I really want Zingo to make a cameo and something
yeah,
else.
I am bringing Zingo back. But
Hashtag it, bring Zingo back.
Yeah, let's do it. He's doing it now.
so
Bye,
yeah.
Paul.
But yeah, my kids don't watch much vegan content and stuff, and I generally don't. I haven't really catered towards the younger audience, particularly on my channel. You know, some of it's accidentally suitable for children.
Yeah,
and some of it's not. You know, it's it's a funny one. I haven't seen that many vegan channels that are specifically for kids. Have you guys?
Nope.
I've seen some attempts, but
I
yeah.
think if I was going to make more videos that are aimed directly at children, then I'd probably open a secondary channel, which was like more like Mooncat Kids or something.
Oh, you've done it now.
Oh,
That's
there
it.
you go.
UK Vegan Family need Mooncat Kids.
You know, and do more kids related stuff, because that's about where my intelligence sort of is anyway. You know, I'm about that level, so I could definitely get on that one.
If you do that, I will voice act and make music for you for free. I promise.
Hey, that's
Mooncat
awesome.
Kids.
I love
I'll
it.
be all over that.
I think I
love
will.
that.
I think I will do that. That sounds fun.
Mooncat Kids.
Mooncat Kids.
I'm loving
Love
it. I can't wait.
I love it.
Vegan case, I would
just gotta
doubt
go for a
that.
wee. I got a bit
Where are you
excited.
off to?
I got a bit excited. I need to go for a wee after hearing Mooncat
right.
Kids.
I know. Obviously, they like cartoons though, so you know a lot of young kids like things like that. So would veganism fit into that? I mean, they like to.
I don't know. I mean, the vegan something is saying TVT, which I assume is that vegan teacher.
Yeah.
Was for kids. I guess not now. I mean, I don't know with that vegan teacher. I mean, I don't mind some of the stuff that vegan teacher does. Obviously, does put a lot of information out there, which is extremely sort of helpful. And she's obviously doing her absolute sort of best to get as much attention and information out there as possible. But I would definitely not call her a kids channel, especially not now.
No.
I mean, it set it up more as a passive-aggressive sense of humor kind of thing. I think that's what she was going for.
Yeah, she's quite, you know. She's very passionate about it, obviously. So, you know, I understand. So, but she does get very sweary. You know, there's a lot of very hard cutting terms on there, which, you know, is definitely going to maybe work for some adults and stuff like that and other people. But I don't think I'd want my kids watching that particularly.
Oh.
You know, if she's on a more what's the word I'm looking for, Jose? A more mild, more mild stream where or a more mild video where she's just putting some information over. I think she can be quite. Even I like the little songs. The songs are awesome.
Yeah.
I think that's what, if she had a separate sort of like little. We were talking about the Mooncat Kids. If she had that vegan teacher kids edition where she was just doing the songs and some of them not quite as hardcore, I think she'd come over really well for that.
Yeah.
But it's a combination of things with her right now, and I definitely don't think it's like massively kid. I know she's saying welcome to the class, students and stuff like that, but it's not super young kid friendly.
No.
See, I liked you've took it off now.
Oh, sorry.
You've come back and you've destroyed it already. About warrior action, because Ruth's son likes the sword, so he would like something like that, wouldn't he? So I don't know. I guess there's lots you could do, but I would say
I was going to say
ask lots of vegan families. Maybe get into some of the vegan Facebook groups, like the family groups, and ask people what they want their kids to see.
It would be very
like Avatar, for example. The Avatar is not vegan but vegetarian, right?
Oh, it's been a long time since I've seen that.
It's been a while since I've seen it, but I recently got reminded of that awesome show.
Avatar is in the Japanese sort of like earthbending and stuff like that. You mean? And like water bending and all that different stuff like that. Yeah. He definitely doesn't eat meat, does it? In that.
No, but I believe it was like a whole plot thing where he at some point becomes vegetarian because of something that happens, and that could be like a really cool angle to take it from. Yes, Ang is vegetarian at best. Thanks, Leon. That could be an interesting angle.
Yeah, that's the main character, isn't it? The Avatar.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I'd be asking everybody, because I don't really know, because obviously Jack is just obsessed with cars and dinosaurs and But I guess he's going to want to see stuff when he's older.
We've had to explain about different sorts of dinosaurs and what they eat as well, haven't we?
Yeah, we've had to say what dinosaurs eat as well. It's always something down with veganism. There's so many conversations.
To be honest with you, you're probably best not asking the parents. They're fairly, for the most part, out of touch with what the kids actually want to see. They literally no idea. Oh, my kid loves dinosaurs. And, I'm not saying this in your case, and he hasn't liked dinosaur in 4 years. He's just saying it to please you. He doesn't want to upset you and tell you. He now likes cars smashing into things. It's like so. I mean, it's hard to say, but it's almost like you just want to get a load of vegan kids together and say, oh, what do you find amusing? What do you like watching and stuff? And then just find out it's probably mostly non-vegan like my kids, and then just try and introduce some veganism into it, Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
It's like, oh, he's just crashed his car into the barrier and now he's coming out for a vegan burger.
Or a vegan shake.
That'd be good.
Well, actually, I don't know.
That'd be good, actually.
It's like close to vegan.
Yeah, but then the T-Rex goes and eats another.
Yeah, but the main protagonists are herbivores.
This is what we have to watch. You see, all the time, Land Before Time.
The evil people are the carnivores.
Evil people are the carnivores.
Oh yeah, run away from them and hide. Get to the valley.
Anyway, welcome
to
our
valley.
stream. How are you doing? I don't think we've seen you before, so welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
So what's your story then, Jose?
Yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself, because you've got a channel as well, have you?
Yes. So my name is it's pronounced Jose.
Yeah, we've been to Mexico twice. We would live there if we could.
Yeah, we saw you in GVG.
That was a nice mask. And I do vegan activism through singing and dancing.
Wow.
On my channel. Yeah.
Wow.
I have this nasty habit of always asking Jose to sing for me whenever he's on a stream. I can't help myself. I constantly ask him, Jose, can you sing for me?
Well, we don't know about this, so do we get to ask?
Yeah, I wouldn't dare ask him again. I think this would be like the third time. But if you want to ask him,
Plays guitar.
Well, okay.
Oh yes,
You don't have to if you don't
Oh
want
no,
to.
you don't have to, but you're more welcome if you want to.
I'll do it.
Musical interlude.
I'll do it, but Joy has to do it after me. So
What?
Joy has to do it after. Oh,
yes, that's
good.
right.
That's
We'll
so
see.
good.
We'll see.
He's flexing.
Which one should I sing?
They're all awesome.
Do one of your classical ones.
Yeah. Aga luna che in argenti queste rive, questi fiori, e da lei che mi innamora, il linguaggio dell'amore. That was
Hey,
an Italian piece.
That's beautiful. You've got a
I'm
very
sick of
beautiful
only-
voice.
I wish
I'm
I'd have
sick of
bloody
sounding English.
requested a song now.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely bored of being English now. I want his voice. I want
Damn.
Jose's voice.
I wanted
The comment section is
I wanted to
going. They're
hear.
liking it.
I wanted to hear Canción della Mariachi. Oh, never mind.
Oh, I have one. Estas son las mañanitas que cantaba el rey David. Hoy por ser día de tu santo te las cantamos a ti. Despierta, mi bien, despierta. Mira que ya amaneció. Ya los pajaritos cantan, la luna ya se metió.
Beautiful.
Hey.
Absolutely
Yes,
beautiful.
amazing.
Yeah,
Wow,
it's
I
a
feel.
mariachi song. That's like, it's
Yeah, I could feel. I could just feel. Yeah, it's when we went to Mexico. It was very emotional. It's where we got engaged. So there's so much love for Mexico, isn't there? It's wow. Yeah, I feel a bit like that. Oh, there's some round of applause there.
Yeah,
Let's put them up.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
Thanks.
So level, Joy. So I hope you stopped right then. So, listening, on this.
He's all emotional.
Yeah.
Oh wait, you're serious?
What were we talking about?
We're waiting for Joy to sing.
Oh yeah.
Oh, serious. Actually, okay. Now we're talking about parenthood and stuff, right? I recently found this article yesterday on Jackie and Dixon. I don't know if you've seen it, but it was about this cow that lost her baby, but she was allowed to. Well, she was not slaughtered because she was pregnant, and then she lost her baby. But then she got. Oh my God, I lost the string for a second. There we are. But she got another baby, and that actually really inspired me to write a song. So I have something, a premiere if you want to.
Yay.
I'm a bit nervous about it, but I'm still figuring out the chords, but I could.
Go for
Sounds
it.
good to me.
Okay. Hold on, let me check.
I love how she's just got the guitar there, ready to go.
She was gonna do this.
Can you hear that?
Yes.
I face the sun, 'cause I want to feel the grass beneath my feet. This is more than just my instinct, more than what I need. And when the darkness circles around me, I have time to overcome, 'cause I am free. I face the sun, 'Cause I am someone, and I was somebody before. Took a while for me to figure out that I don't hurt anymore. I face the sun if I want to. From now on, it's up to me. Past the gates, the chains, the worry. Nothing but the past to grieve. And when the long ago takes over, I have somewhere to belong. 'Cause I am free. I face the sun.
Wow. Yes. Round of applause for both of you. Yeah.
I always get so nervous when I sing.
I
don't know why.
Both did amazing.
Yeah, you've both got beautiful voice. But no, it's your turn.
Yeah, your turn.
Oh my God.
Now everyone has to go.
You gotta go now too.
Sorry.
Well,
Can you sing my milkshake brings all the voice of the club?
I was so
I
taking the mick
can
out
do,
of
but I
him.
haven't got any words for it. So
No. I just wanted to rip the mic. Sorry. So, have you missed any comments? Has anybody got any questions in there? Because I can see they're all going. Ruth's put, "Wow, beautiful." Yeah, now the vegan mooncat's turn.
I'm not a very good singer, but I am pretty decent on guitar. But lucky for me, they're all upstairs.
mine's not here at the moment.
Well, there's one.
I'm not sure I believe that. You looked at it.
There's one that, to both of you that
They're
says,
everywhere.
both wonderful, very touching. He's missing the comments, look.
Oh yes, yes. Sorry. Wow, so beautiful. Free vegan content.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's awesome.
I actually hadn't planned on doing a whole lot of music, but honestly, recently I got a bunch of scripts ready about vegan content, but so far I've just been making music. Well, that was not the plan at all.
Well, I would, but I haven't. I can't really play it at this current moment. I've been off work with neuropathy in my hands, so I'm struggling a little bit to play guitar.
You play it very beautifully, don't you? You do. So I'm wondering whether to wrap this up then, because we're coming up to 2 hours
the vegan
now.
place. I don't know whether you wanted to say anything because we kind of.
Yeah, you've been very patient, haven't you?
What's your story? Have you told us it?
Oh,
So you started the channel.
Yes, you did.
I mean, yeah, I started a channel. I have to get to 100 subscribers so I could change the URL to the youtube.com/vegan.
Let me go and subscribe.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, let me see. I gotta put down the links.
We need to
Another way it won't
subscribe, I
work.
think, to Jose as well.
No,
Yeah,
because
we
if you go to the search engine, you won't find me because I'm.
Oh, I just searched it. Have you? Is your logo a white circle with TVB in?
Yes, that's it.
Yeah, you came up on search as the Vegan Blaze.
Oh, cool.
Animal Rights March, New York City, 2019 video.
Right, that's me.
Yeah.
Right, let's go.
Just
head
sub.
over there.
The website is going to be up tonight. It is already up, but it's just like it's not my thing. I'm gonna work on it tonight, and it's veganblazemedia.com.
Okay.
Let me just go and sub with all my alt accounts as well.
With all your alt accounts.
Yeah.
Feel free
make
to
it
sub
sound
to
like
my
you've got
account. Feel free to sub to me. I don't mind.
I will.
To me too.
Yeah, I'm going to do that for you as well.
Aw.
I wish I could sub more than once to everyone.
Is
It's so nice to meet other YouTubers there within the community. It's lovely.
It is beautiful. Is yours Jose Razzo? Is that?
Yes, it's my name basically.
Does it come up with you first?
Oh,
Yeah, it's the first one that comes up, and it's like I'm like doing a pose upside down.
Awesome.
Yeah, I see you got content about activism as well, right? Oh,
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Vegan
like all my content is about activism.
The Animal Rights March, New York.
Or his. Oh, never mind.
Oh,
Sorry.
mine.
Oh, I don't know who you're talking to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking to you. I was talking to you, Vegan Blaze.
Oh.
Yeah,
Just scrolling through your stuff for a bit.
I just have that one video and then like whatever I have on Instagram. But yeah, I'm trying to get a team together so we can like do news around the animal rights community.
Awesome.
Do you live in New York? Vegan
Yeah,
Blaze?
I'm in the Bronx right now. That's a borough of New York City. Yeah.
That's nice.
Mm-hmm. Where are you from, Jose?
California.
Okay, cool. Where in California?
And Lodi.
Okay.
It's a small town called Lodi.
Okay.
I live in the middle of Lodi in another town called Stockton.
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right.
So it's close to Sacramento. Oh, and it's also close to like San Francisco.
Sacramento and San Francisco, I definitely know where that around that area. Okay.
I was going to say, Vegan Blaze, don't forget in your about on there you can put all your links to like your other social media, such as all your like your Facebook and Instagram and other stuff. You know, so anyone who follows you on YouTube can always head over if they read your about and sub on your other platforms.
There's lots of people in the chat who have got YouTubes as well. So should we go through them and show everybody?
Yeah, we will go through them now because everyone. It's just plug away, guys. We're going to do a quick plug fest before I think.
Don't judge me too harshly for the Ronald video.
Vegan gays. Sub to Vegan Blaze. Nice. Thank you, Vegan Pixie Warrior.
And I'm Easy Vegan as well.
Yeah,
if he's still here,
he was
up there earlier as well.
Gwaine has a channel as well.
The awesome Gwaine.
Yes.
Vegan Pixie Warrior, go and sub to her as well.
She's awesome, and she's very Fern Cotton. She's like a voice. She's actually got a second career. She is the voice double for Fern Cotton. So if like Fern Cotton can't do a radio show or something like this, shit Vegan Pixie Warrior in. So Fern Cotton's quite a well-known sort of British celebrity, and yeah, she's got that. So that's pretty good.
Oh, I'm trying to do a love heart, but it keeps going like that. So, thank you. That's all good. There's lots of love in the chat. And the 40-year-old vegan as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't miss anybody.
Channel is the name. I'm just going in.
Oh, there's another channel there we don't know about. Interspecies. See, there's loads here that we don't know about.
So we're going to go
I
there
also saw
right now.
Grumpy Vegan Granddad at the beginning of the stream, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who is also a content creator.
Awesome. Let's see if I can find them.
Interspecies. Well, I've typed
No,
in.
it's not coming up. It's coming up.
Yeah, I can't find Interspecies.
Let me go on.
Is there a video title for Interspecies?
If you put the filter on for channel only,
okay,
it comes on at the top there.
Yep, channel only. There we go.
14 videos and has 850 subscribers. That's pretty awesome.
It's like a deer.
Oh, I thought so. I'm already subscribed to Interspecies. I thought when you said it.
Awesome.
Oh God, the channel right underneath it is called Interspecies Wrestling. My God.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I saw that.
It could have been a different It could have been a different word after Interspecies, and then that would have been worse.
Look underneath it.
Oh dear, I don't think I dare.
Is there anyone else that we've missed?
The Interspecies family.
Anyone else?
Yeah, she's put there. Yeah, which is you'll find very weird stuff.
Awesome.
So don't look too much into that.
Oh, it's been really good to do this stream tonight. I've learned so much about this subject. I feel.
Oh, actually, before we go, I need to ask Jose, were you vegan from birth, or you've just become vegan?
I've been vegan for 6 years.
Wow.
Right.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering whether you might have been the child we need to ask the questions about how you were raised vegan, but
yeah, sorry, I couldn't give. I don't know what answers to give you on that one, other than you just have to be, as I say, given the information, and then as things arrive, then I bring out the big guns.
There's something going on in the chat about a debate. What have we missed? Like, what's this debate?
Yeah, in the previous stream, Grumpy Vegan's Granddad stream, there was someone, Jordan.
Oh, I think I was chatting to them, I think.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Jordan is going to probably have a debate with vegan gays, maybe. And, that might be very interesting.
Yeah,
cool.
I mean, while Jordan's obviously, while Jordan's still, eating animals and stuff, he seemed a very reasonable chap, and seems to be open to the discussion and a willingness to listen. So he's not like anti-vegan or anything along those lines. Just wants to know more, really.
It's been really good to have you here, then, because as vegan YouTubers, we are always wanting to connect with you guys. So, thank you for staying and watching. Absolutely.
Thank you, guys.
That's good.
Thanks.
So, any final thoughts about what the subject was tonight on vegan? How do you feel now? We've had a good chat about it.
Yeah, I feel
petrified.
Petrified.
We haven't been doing anything wrong. I think we've been approaching it the right way.
Yeah,
I think
I thought you were going to say the wrong way. Then I was like, what?
I think a lot of people might be reassured that if they do watch this or have watched it,
I think
it's scary times for us all, because we're all, the vegan movement is really taking off now, and I think there's a lot of people that are going to go through this for the first time with no one around them to support them.
And that's why we wanted to do this, wasn't it?
So yeah,
it's when it involves our children, there's always a lot to think about, and it's everyone else who always says, "Oh, you're forcing your child to be vegan," and there's always that subject. But actually, when you're a vegan parent, there's so much in there that we need to discuss, and it's good to have these conversations with other parents as well, because we learn, but it's good to hear what people who haven't got children, what they think as well.
Take Jerry out there.
So I appreciate everyone's perspective.
He's not a baby.
Oh, he is.
Take him on, kid.
But thank you to
Jerry.
everybody who's come on today. As we said, we're off to the farm sanctuary tomorrow. So
so the fundraiser that we did through all our gaming streams, we bought all the stuff on the Amazon wish list. Well, not all of it, but we bought some of it. We're going to go there tomorrow.
Yeah, we're going to go there. We're going to go and hopefully nab an interview out of them.
Yeah.
Just to ask them a few things. And
I
can't wait to go back.
I was going to say, sorry, before I forget, and before we all break, I was going to say my eldest son William, he's 15. He has a best friend at the school. I'm thinking he was vegetarian. I can't remember now, but maybe he was dabbling in other animal products as well. Comes giving William the correct information, and he disseminated that over to his friend. I think he's been vegan also for a few years now. So
that's amazing.
That's the thing. You influence your children into doing the right thing. They go talk to other people about it, and hopefully that is definitely the future of getting a vegan world, is getting everyone when they're nice and early before they're indoctrinated, and hopefully get there sooner rather than later.
Kids are the ones that tend to pick it up a lot sooner. They're usually at that age where they love animals and they're like, what am I eating? So
yeah,
those are the kids we should
kids responding to that and talk about how they don't want to eat because they don't want to eat the animals, and then when they grow up, they're kind of taught that it's normal to eat animals, and they grow out of it basically. But why would we want to do that? Like, that's if anything, that would be my closing statement. I wish that the adults in my life would have been more honest with me about these topics. I wouldn't have been shocked. I wouldn't have been traumatized. I just would have been vegan a lot sooner.
Yeah.
I mean, I think even the other kids that are mean to Thomas and my kids are regarding veganism, they're not mean to them because they believe that. They're mean to them because it's like many other things. They've just adopting the views of their parents. But given the choice and the correct information, all kids would choose the correct path.
Yeah, they would. And anything you want to say, the Vegan Blaze, before we finish?
No, just check me out in an hour at veganblazemedia.com. And then you'll be able to see me everywhere on TikTok, and everything will be there. So
we haven't done that yet.
And I'm also on a group. I'm doing a Discord server. I don't know if you guys know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But, so right now we have about 20-something people in there.
Okay, cool. You're more into Discord than I am. I just go,
have you got a link for your Discord? So I've started one, but I've got no one in it apart from me.
What, for us or just for you?
Just for the because
I haven't received the invite. Maybe that's intentional though.
Well, I'll go in there and grab the link for it. Because when I was doing the gaming streams and people just wanted, have a chat.
Okay. Yeah, I don't really understand this whole Discord thing.
Oh, it's fun though. You should definitely look into it more.
No, I just talk. He does all the technical stuff, don't you? All the fiddly stuff. Yeah.
Have you guys? Oh,
well, there's the UK Vegan Family Discord link there. So it's
awesome.
So it expires in 7 days and then it gives you another one. So
wait, that controls in there.
I'm joining that right now.
So it's entirely up to you if you want to come and chill and play Rocket League or do gaming or anything.
There's a final question just before we end from Jordan, and I like this question.
Everyone's jumping in.
Okay. So do you think a child should have a choice? So in regards to what we've been talking about, where's everybody gone?
No, don't worry. It's just Discord messing around.
So Jack would be traumatized if he knew he was eating animals. He would be absolutely traumatized. He loves animals. He asks all the time, is this vegan? And I've never eaten animals, and I'm so glad that I have never had to eat animals. So I would never have naturally have raised any children to eat animals. How do you feel as someone who wasn't raised like me? Obviously I was vegetarian, but knowing that
he just does the technical stuff. He doesn't talk.
No, he does. He does. But we're not forcing him to do anything.
No. I think it's the right decision to do
this.
And he's not old enough to make his own decisions yet.
No, and if he was to say, "Oh, can I have a cigarette?" we'd be like, "Absolutely bloody no way you having a cigarette." Unless you know animal products are carcinogenic. They are class 1 carcinogenics. His health is very important to us, and we are doing our best to protect his future. And he doesn't want to eat animals. He doesn't want to eat, eggs or cow's breast milk.
Is this the question you answer?
It's if you have a choice to live cruelty-free, why wouldn't you do it?
I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, we're asking that as vegans, do we feel like the kids should have a choice? But what about the choice that the non-vegan kids aren't getting? They're not getting the choice to not harm animals. They're not getting the choice to not set themselves up for future health conditions such as obesity and certain cancers and and heart disease. They're not getting that choice. They're getting told told that it's fine, eat the burger, eat that, eat the ice cream, eat blah blah blah. So they're getting absolutely no choice. They're literally setting up for the diseases that kill most of us, and they're also at the same time harming animals, and they won't. If they ever do get older and make the connection, they won't thank you for it.
In that sense, you could argue that veganism is the neutral position. That's what a lot of people will tell you.
Yes, I think absolutely. I echo that. Jack started off his life never knowing the taste of animals. If when he is older, and I mean a lot older, and he is adamant that he's going to make that choice to eat dead animals, then that's on his shoulders. But he gets to go through his life knowing, he was given the option to start his life without eating them.
He gets to make that choice.
Yeah, when he's older.
To his diet, because that's how we view it. And just to add to that, we have a lot of research. For example, of dietetics, the Association of Dietetics. What's the English word?
British Association of Dietetics.
Yeah, and there's a number of other. There's a lot of research that has come out that has shown that veganism is
safe for all stages of life.
Lifestyle, safe for all stages of life, including pregnancy. And why wouldn't you?
I think the kids as well. Kids, for the most part, we make choices for them all the time as parents. For the most part, kids are as dumb as a box of rocks, and they'll do anything, even if it's bad for them. So if you tell them that eating burgers are good, they'll eat them. If you point out that they're not, if you tell them that they've got the power of flight like Superman, they'll jump out of a window. You know, they're not fully formed people. You know, you've got to make decisions for them. And as a parent, you can only do it based off the best information. I want my kids to be as healthy as possible. So the best nutrition advice out there from all the major consensus of scientific information is that being on a whole foods plant-based diet that's calorically dense and you know, enough calories, you know, is the healthiest thing for them and their health. So I'm, in my view, setting them up for a healthier, disease-free future. You know, and at the same time, I want them to be ethical people, you know, who don't do something for a personal taste preference or some other, you know, lame choice. Not to be harsh on people, you know, I want them to make the right decision. And at the end of the day, also stuff them. I'm not spending my money on animal products.
No.
I'll do what I say.
But I think Jordan is focusing on like the health side of things.
Yeah, he's like,
do you know what happens to these animals when they are slaughtered? A few weeks ago, we went to Manchester to attend a pig vigil, and I've never been to one before. And we stood outside this slaughterhouse in the UK, hearing pigs that we had just seen on the trucks
I've got a
gassed.
recording of it
They
here
were being
on the Roland.
gassed. And this is your bacon, which is a class 1 carcinogenic. This is your pork. You know, this is everything. They were struggling, they were screaming, they were suffering, and they were in pain. They were in a lot of pain.
Sorry, I'm laughing at Jose, not what you're saying. What you're saying is very seriously, but it's making me giggle.
It is. It's about the animals, and if you can live a life without paying for suffering and animal abuse, then why would you choose it? I would ask you to check out the veganswitch.org as well, because you can get a one-to-one mentor who can help you make that right choice.
He's still going. He's still going.
Jordan, by the way, feel free to DM me about, because I heard that you were struggling with finding easy meals and stuff like that. That's something that I struggled with. I don't live in the UK. So in my country, in the Netherlands, it's quite a lot more difficult to find practical meals.
Yeah.
So feel free to DM me for some recipes and easy stuff on that.
Yeah, there's like so much amazing food you can eat. Like, we're on a budget, and we do so much better now that we've gone plant-based. Like we do make a lot of home cooked food, but Adam likes his takeaways and fast food.
Can't get enough.
Me too.
And at the moment, I've got a serious fetish for hummus.
Oh yeah, I can't have hummus in the house anymore. It's gone.
Yeah, I've always got to have a bag of crisps or chips, whatever you call it in America. Chips, isn't it? Potato chips. Chips and dips.
Though I mean, I was initially, I was like putting crackers and stuff in because I've got a terrible addiction to jalapeno flavored hummus.
Oh yeah, I had that the other day.
I can't. It's like crack. I mean, if it could go up my nose, you know, I don't know, intravenously put it into my veins. I don't know. I could just want
suppository in it. Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know. I could try. I could try. I could put it in my ears, nose, backside. I could do everything simultaneously. You know, get my full addiction craze. But I got the idea from Paul at Hench Herbivore to just slice potatoes up into like that sort of thickness and bake them in the oven.
Sniff it
without oil.
Without oil,
with salt and pepper, or a bit of pepper and whatever on there, and just use them instead. Because I'm not a big fan of dipping carrots in hummus, to be honest with you. I've never really taken to it, and celery can kiss my ass. It's not my favorite thing in the world, So.
Oh my god!
Have you tried French's? I think it's vegan French's mustard, the American mustard.
Yeah,
I have.
I've tried everything.
And dipping
just
carrot
one
sticks
more
in
thing
that.
before we lose Jordan. Can you do me a favor?
What's that?
Can you find the link for Dominion and just pop it in the chat? I would ask you, please watch Dominion and then reach out to all of us for some support. Because if you watch that, you just...
I'll be honest with you, I'd watch that before going on the debate, because what you're going to do, if you go into a debate with an ethical vegan, the first thing you're going to do is realise why we are like we are.
Because we could throw you Dominion, but I'm not going to do that.
It's like watch Dominion.
I think he said he was going to watch Seaspiracy.
Well,
that's what he said. But just to clarify, I haven't watched Dominion. I haven't watched any documentaries except for Seaspiracy.
Yeah.
And I specifically waited with that until my vegan anniversary, which is going to be the 1st of June.
Oh.
I'm going to be doing it. And I did that because I wanted to come up with the argumentation myself and not have anyone be able to point at me and say, hey, you just got shocked into seeing this. Not that that's the case for every vegan, absolutely not. That's what I wanted to do. So that's an option 2.
I don't think that's a bad idea.
If you want to prepare yourself for the debate, then watch those documentaries, because I think that will give you a better image of how a lot of vegans see the situation.
Yeah, I think when you watch that, you'll see where we're all coming from. And I think once you've watched that, you can make a choice then based on what you've seen. And I will say that is what they call high welfare.
Yeah. And you don't have to make the choice from day 1 to 2, because I didn't do that either. For me, it was a gradual process just to butt that in.
Yeah, it's I definitely watch that, definitely, and then you'll just know what you're up against. And the debate sounds great, so we need to know when this is, Vegan Cakes.
Yeah, I'm curious. But I guess we'll see about that, because I'm not sure. It was planned just now, just before this stream, on Grumpy Vegan Granddad stream. So I don't know what the idea is.
And also, Gawain has put Game Changers, which is on Netflix, but also What the Health, and we haven't talked about that. When we first went vegan, we had made a decision to actually let Jack stay vegetarian like I had been, until I found out about everything that goes on. When I realized what animal products like dairy and eggs do to the body at 17 months when we went vegan, he did as well. Because when you know what happens to your health from eating them, it's just, And obviously I was very naive back then. I didn't know about children being vegan. What was that? Celery sucks bottoms. I hate celery.
It's evil.
Celery sucks.
I'd rather dip a sprout any day.
And what about cucumber?
Cucumber, you can't put that on a sandwich. It just turns it into a soggy mess. It's totally pointless. I mean, I'll eat it separately, chopped up small.
It's true.
What do we all like on our sandwiches then?
Hummus. No, anything really. Yeah. I'm not fussy. I'll just cram anything on my sandwich. I don't have a lot of sandwiches, to be honest with you. But
just ask another question. What age do vegan parents teach children about animals being killed for food? Well, I don't know. I'm not a parent, so maybe that's...
See, our son is only 3, and he knows that animals are killed for people to eat, and he's known that a while.
They're gonna ask questions. Like
they do ask questions. It's actually the non-vegan kids that ask, well, that chicken that I've just seen over there, well, what's that on my plate? Is that a chicken? So, kids are very clever. What's going on here?
They're just pointing at each other or something. I don't know.
Serious stuff going on here.
Oh my god, it tickles.
I don't know. And mine's gone. He's gone upstairs.
I say tell kids that animals die for meat, dairy, and etc. immediately. I mean, it's a it's a fact that should be given to your children straight away.
And the dairy industry, tell them what goes on there as well.
Yeah,
I've told my kids all these industries suck really bad, but I've told them I actually think the dairy industry is even worse. It's they're all bad. It's an extra step. It's just let's just drag them on for 5-6 years or whatever they drag the cows on constantly. Well, we all know. I don't need to say it. Most people are vegan in here, so it's horrific. So they prolong the agony, don't they?
I'm just going to mention these guys here because we interviewed them some time ago now. Thankfully, true. They homeschool all their children, and I think they've got 6 children. Beautiful family, absolutely beautiful family.
Oh my God.
Now, these guys, they were on British Parent. And we actually got to see how, what their life is like. They're really nice family. They did their home birth on their YouTube channel, and they are a beautiful family. So definitely go and check them out if you haven't. And I think I was going to say something, then my mind.
I think if I had to homeschool all 4 of my children, I'd have to institute some kind of like timeout for them in a cupboard for a few hours a day. I couldn't.
They homeschool their kids, and they're just a beautiful family. So definitely go and check them out. Yeah,
I say that, you know, I say it was way easier to talk to my kids before they went into sort of like public education and stuff. It's almost like going in and associating with other children, and you know, the outside world ruins them a bit.
Yeah, it does.
You know, and I always felt like I'd like to have them near me longer so I can teach them more, you know, about, you know, because you know, education and you know academic subjects are important, obviously, but so is teaching your children about how to live and ethics, and you know, and how to be good people and stuff. And when they're out of your control for so long, you know, it's you're relying on others to do some of the stuff that they shouldn't be doing.
I've been teaching Jack to cook for a long time as well, so he learns what he should be eating. Yeah,
That's
he
good.
really loves that. He's been doing that a long time. He's always helping me in the kitchen.
I mean, that's a good idea, because I think one of the things that you know, Jordan, who's debating Ellie, said is that he relies on a lot of pre-done sort of meals and stuff, you know, which is why he said he found it harder to find options. Whereas, as I say, I mean, we shouldn't be entrusting these companies to make all our food and stick them in a packet for us. You know, they'll just make it as flavoursome and as addictive as possible. You know, they don't care about the health aspects of it or anything else. You know, they just want to make sure that you go back and get it the next day. So the amount of crap that they'll cram in them, we need to start taking responsibility for what we shove in our mouths, not only from an ethical standpoint, but from our own health also, and make sure that you know. So teaching kids cooking from a very early age is an amazing thing to do.
Might be interesting to return the question, actually. When do non-vegan parents tell their kids that animals are being slaughtered for their food? And when do they teach them about the eggs and the dairy? Because you're the ones consuming it.
But they don't know.
And that's the kind of question that you can't expect, probably.
You can't expect it. They don't know sometimes, or they don't care.
I think, they don't know, or they don't care, or they just think that cows eat grass and make milk like most of us do.
Yeah. Like I did. You know, there's a lot of people who just don't think about this stuff on a daily basis, and that's understandable, because I didn't think about it for about 25 years, but yeah.
I'm trying to be careful with the questions, because normally when I press them...
Toby is right, though. Hummus is crack-like substance.
Absolutely.
Bless. So our Kenzie is 5 on Monday. Last week he cornered a grown man and questioned him whilst he delivered boxed fish to a shop. He was disgusted. Why do you have dead fish in a box? They belong in the sea. Oh my God.
Absolutely truth.
See, that's how kids see it. Jack says things like, don't eat the animals, you know, put them back. He's like,
I mean, who do you want your kids to be? I mean, what do you want for your children? You know, just generally, do you want them to be, you know, compassionate individuals that, you know, care about the planet and everything that lives on it, or do you want them to just not give a shit and just, you know, power down as much as they want out of a selfish reason? I mean, I didn't give my kids the correct information for years. It's a regret that I'll carry for ages, you know, forever. But you know, it's but that doesn't mean I should just let them do the wrong thing now.
Was it Vegan Gaze, by the way, that made a video about how I believe the title was vegans indoctrinating children or something like that, but they showed footage of children learning about their food by non-vegan parents, by the way. So maybe that's an interesting video to watch.
Yeah,
I don't know if it was Vegan Gaze, but I know she was in it.
I think it was Vegan Gaze and Peace with Reese, but there was one kid that was saying, I don't want to eat that. She was really crying, and they were saying, you've got to eat it. And she looked like she was going to be sick.
Yeah, they show several, you know, kids who kind of make the connection. And the parents' response to it is also pretty interesting to see.
Yeah, it is. It's very sad. It really is. So
is he still having a pee?
I think Jack woke up.
Okay.
And that's why, bless him. He normally goes, because he's toilet trained for night time to a certain extent. When he's asleep, we take him about half 11 to go and have a wee when he's asleep. And then I think it's
more likely he's gone, you know, with all the talk of hummus, I think he's off to bathe in it. He's currently he took his top off and he's rubbing himself all over with hummus as we speak.
Or Adam
Guys, I bought hummus the other day with dark chocolate.
Oh, that's delicious.
What?
Yes.
Never had this. Never had it.
Yes.
What,
and it's
mixed in?
delicious. I bought two of them. I bought one with chocolate and one with dark chocolate.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have that here. It's nowhere in
I just
sight.
found it. I was like just walking next to the vegan things.
I could emulate that though. I could get like a plain hummus and just a massive bar of chocolate and just start scooping.
Just this one here. Our ancestors did some terrible things. Terrible, terrible things. Just because the ancestors did it shouldn't mean we need to do it. I mean, it's 2021 now, Jordan.
I mean, when you think about it, humans, our ancestors, if they were starving or needed a meal, they'd eat a rotting corpse, eyeballs, testicles, and everything on the floor. I mean, do you want to do that? I mean, I know I don't.
We're not living in a survival situation like our ancestors did.
And plus, they had. I mean, what you're saying is, our ancestors did that. Yeah, but how healthy were our ancestors? Maybe if they lived past 30 because they weren't getting trodden on by, like a larger animal or something or hunted. Maybe if they reached 40, 50, they'd have atherosclerosis and be dying of a heart attack. Yeah. I mean, you just have no idea. And then, I mean, as far as I'm aware, they examined the excrement of our ancestors, like from a long time ago, and they found a lot of it was predominantly sort of plant based. Or was that like stuff that's in the teeth as well? And they were eating a lot of plants as well. So why not choose to follow that aspect of ancestors' diet where they eat a lot of plants? Why pick on meat?
Yeah. But also,
I wish I remembered.
Changing the term meat as well, because what you've put there is, I think it is the norm that parents naturally not taught about where meat comes from. Looking at it, it's a dead animal. That's the thing.
That's it. I mean, I think if you really think that you're meant to eat meat and you have carnivorous tendencies, go out, find a rabbit that's running around the field, pick it up if you can catch it, and start eating it, ear to arse. Just eat the whole thing. Live, just sink your teeth in, eat everything about it. And if that absolutely disgusts you, the thought of that, that's because you were never meant to eat it in the first place. What would you rather do? Eat that rabbit, like alive, blood gushing all down your face, like not caring about what internal organs crashing into your teeth, or would you prefer to go pick an apple or some berries? Or a potato out of the ground? And which one would you find more acceptable to you?
And
you're
not bringing it back to the animals. Is it really justifiable to put them through? Just because you might buy grass-fed, all the animals still get slaughtered in the same slaughterhouse, dude. Just because your prison
cell has a padded chair to sit your ass on doesn't mean that it's any better to be in that prison. And if you've got a death sentence hanging over your head that you're still going to be murdered, it's like, great. It's like, all right, would you? So if I said to like a human being, all right, I can keep you living for 20 years in the lap of luxury, we'll treat you really well. You get the best food you can, but then at 20, we're going to kill you and eat you. Would you prefer to just live your life out of that situation and get to a ripe old age, get to see your kids, and other such things? It's just absolutely crazy.
To give more of a health example of what Jordan, I think, is talking about, just look at what needs to happen to meat before we can safely eat it. There are laws and regulations about this. We need to breed the animal in a very specific way to make it profitable. We need to keep them in very specific confined spaces. We need to give them a bunch of antibiotics. We need to give them all sorts of medication, inject a B12 supplement, and then slaughter that animal in a specific way, pack it in a specific way, keep it in a grocery store for a specific amount of time under specific circumstances, and then take it home. You need to cook it all the way through just to make sure, and you can still get sick from it. If anything goes wrong, you have a pandemic.
Yeah, and even if you cook, say, chicken all the way through, so like you've killed the bacteria in the chicken, good luck getting it off your hands and your knives and your forks and anything you use to prepare it on your workstations. Because I think they've actually done sort of like studies where they've tested kitchen preparation areas after something like raw chicken's being prepared, and you literally, even if you're bleaching the surfaces, there's still like bacteria there which can cause illnesses in human health, etc. So it's just getting rid of the damage that it causes.
Just watch Dominion, Jordan, and then you can come back at us with the questions. But I don't think you'll have many, other than why wasn't I raised this way?
I think that somebody said to him, because he obviously plays rugby, etc. Also, watch the Game Changers, so you can see that. Put your mind at rest that eating a plant-based diet will not be detrimental to your own existence. You're not having to give up your own health.
Because I'm a half marathon runner and I'm training for a marathon, and plant-based diet makes it a lot better. Just
Definitely put your mind at rest by watching that. It's easy to get the information in a short hour and a bit. So you don't have to sit through tons and tons of information. It's people have tried to debunk the film since then. But the science is pretty solid. So
I don't get any recovery injuries. I heal quicker. If I get an ache the next day from a really long run, I'm fine.
Don't get me wrong. If all you're going to eat is a bag of Doritos and wash it down with Coke, you're not going to be that healthy. But if you're eating the whole food plant-based diet, and whatever, and you're eating adequate calories, you'll be absolutely fine.
And loads of beetroot.
Exactly. A vegan diet can mean a lot of different things. Like people will often think of veganism and just think of the diet. That can mean anything. I can, like Mooket says, I can drink vodka and Oreo and eat Oreos all day. It's vegan.
Yeah, I can't remember who said it now, but it's more that when somebody says you're vegan, it tells you what they don't eat. It doesn't actually tell you what they're eating. There's a whole raft of vegan stuff which, especially if it's processed, that isn't particularly great for you. So, but then again, I don't care as long as you're not eating animals. I'm absolutely fine. But I'd rather you were healthy as well.
Yeah, absolutely. What about do nothing that you would not like to have done to you? And I love this hedgehog and other critters rescue.
Oh my God, is that a hedgehog?
Yes.
Hedgehogs are so adorable.
Oh my
I love
goodness.
hedgehogs.
Do these guys have a YouTube? Because I want to see these hedgehogs.
If you can pronounce it, what is it?
Is it Julius Hedgehog and Other Critters Rescue? I want to see hedgehogs.
Okay.
I want to see them. If you guys have a channel, do let us know. I reckon Jack would like to see hedgehogs.
And I'm sure he won't. His predatory instincts won't overtake him, and he won't be sinking his teeth into it.
He'd rather eat kale any day.
Yeah, definitely.
Kale.
Yeah, he loves kale. But I think on that note, is he...
I don't know.
He's awake.
Yeah, I tried coming downstairs the first time, and he was like, "Daddy." Oh, right. I go back up there again.
He has awoken.
He has awoken. Yeah, we're probably being too loud. To be fair, we probably disturbed.
Yeah, I could hear you quite clearly upstairs. You even said at one point his dad had fallen asleep.
I accused you of smothering. I accused you of taking your top off and smothering your nipples in hummus. So
I actually had a quick hummus break. I should have thought about that.
I knew it.
Halftime hummus break.
You're gonna give that kid nightmares about hummus.
Oh my God, hummus chasing you down. Like,
even though if you eat the jalapeno hummus, be careful where you put it.
Yeah, be careful.
Yeah, I was falling asleep. Vegan Pixie Warrior picked it up.
Oh, right, guys.
Yeah, we're gonna. Yeah, because we said we were going to close it up about an hour ago.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Just got it done, haven't we?
Great closing statements for you.
Yeah, and then during this debate,
stop speaking.
When yeah, it's.
No, it's been good. It's been good. So thank you to everybody who's been with us tonight, who's been on, and everybody in the chat, and all the moderators, and all the questions, and all the discussions. It's been fun.
Yeah, I've had a great old time.
Yeah, I've had some laughs as well. And thank you to you guys for coming on as well.
I always have a good time.
And
I can't wait to just have like an open mic night with no topic, and we can just talk about all sorts of just shit.
Well, come and I'll be doing that. I'll be doing exactly that at 8 o'clock tomorrow night.
Oh, really?
We'll be there.
Wait, that's 8 o'clock. Okay.
8 p.m. In England. I don't care what time it is where you are. You will be there. Just set an alarm or don't go to sleep.
Somebody's got to regulate you.
Thank you, Jordan.
Thank you, Jordan, and thank you for all your questions and for listening as well. And thank you for everybody. Yeah. So vegan mooncat tomorrow, 8:00.
Yes, come and see me. I'll be giving a prize. I always give prizes. I'm a
That
prize
has to
giver.
be there now.
Yeah, you could win, and I don't mind sending it in out of the country either. So come along. I mean, I don't know if Ellie's received them yet. I mean, she's received. I've sent a few her. I sent her a pair of Mooncat socks, and I don't think I'm saying this. I don't want to be big headed, but they were the most amazing thing on the planet. They were pretty amazing, and I actually tested. They're actually tested for use in outer space as well. So in the cold of space, they will still keep your feet warm. So if you ever go into space travel, you're still okay.
Mooncat socks.
Hey, since like UK family and like Mooncat, since you guys live in England, why don't you guys like visit each other and like make a video together?
Vegan camp out.
Yeah, we're going to vegan camp out.
You guys all are going?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Are you in tents? Are you guys going in a tent?
A big one.
What?
I mean, I had a big tantrum last we went camping because the last time we went camping was a long time ago, and I was a lot unhealthier, and I was doing all. It was a terrible situation. I was throwing tent parts around, kicking it. Hated it. Couldn't stand. No, I could do it. I just hated it. It's just like the frustration levels. But and when we got back, I literally just screwed the tent up into a ball and tied it, shoved it in the car. And when we got back, I said, I get that on Facebook. It's going. So I've got all the other equipment now, so I might just need another tent.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing.
Unless I just come in with the kids in your tent, we can all like topsy-toesy, share sleeping bags.
We'll eat your food.
Yeah, it's all good.
Just bring some hummus. I'll bring
smuggle
mine.
me into the country?
You're not allowed hummus.
I wouldn't like to see the day he couldn't have hummus.
It'll be a dark day. It'll be the dark. It will be back in the dark ages.
Yeah, it wouldn't be pretty.
It would be a sadder life without it.
Yeah.
So if you can Pixie Warrior gets it, we are in a camper van. That's the way to do it.
I was going to book in a hotel.
I wish somebody could smuggle me into the country. I want to go so bad, but due to COVID regulations, still I cannot go.
Oh, I want to go badly, but I live
Screw you.
Yeah, you're even further away.
I'm
Yeah, that would be
way
the problem.
further.
Yeah, that would be.
We can all make excuses, Jose.
I want to, but stupid COVID.
If you really wanted to go, you'd make the trip. Smuggle yourself on boats.
It's almost sold out.
Yeah.
Set off now. It's just like,
Let's go, Jose.
John kind of like join the merchant navy, make sure you're on the vessel that's coming over to the UK, and then you're away.
Oh, okay. I'll definitely try that. I'll get disguise. You know what? I should disguise myself as a box. So
Post yourself.
when I put myself like this, it looks like a box. But then when I come undone, it's like a transformer.
Like a transformer, like the,
Yeah. Yeah.
I like the idea. Yeah, post yourself over.
Well, you could just get your passport. You could just read through the photo of just a box, and then you could just go in in the airport and just wear the box, and it's like, yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Get in, as a box.
Are we thinking these restrictions will still
then
be in
you'd have
place
to
when the
pay
camp
though.
out's
You'd
on?
have to pay, yeah.
Apparently, camp out's on anyway.
Yeah, but will the restrictions for travel still be on at that time?
Who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah, Pixie Warrior's taking a box to camp out.
Yeah, box to camp out.
I probably shouldn't ask this question, but what's the box for?
It's a magic trick.
Okay, that's fine then. I just didn't know if she didn't want to make the toilets of a night, and she was going to have a box there which required emptying on a regular basis.
The toilets on the family site are much better.
Well, you have to be at this current moment in the UK. You have to be self-contained, so there could be a lot of toilets and a lot of holes everywhere at the moment. You have to watch where you step.
Maybe Vegan Pixie Warrior's box will come in handy.
It might.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. I think on that note, I'm going to bed.
You gotta go.
Right. Thank you guys.
I've loved it though.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Thanks so much.
Bye, everyone.
Big
Thanks
love.
to everyone in
Adios.
watching out
Goodbye.
there. Thanks to everyone in.
Peace.
Bye.